Okay, there we go. All right, let me just get here to the top and move this out of the way. Okay. View. Slideshow, no slideshow. Okay, we're gonna start from the start. Here we go. All right, we don't need subtitles. All right, let's get going. So welcome everybody. As mentioned earlier, my name is Nakimbe Baobab, and today we're going to talk about how to build your one-year marketing strategy and plan. And if my thing will move forward. Okay, there we go. Now, so we're going to be looking at this in two parts. The first half of the morning, we're going to take a look at market strategy and planning, taking a look at your SWOT analysis, branding, the 5 Ps of marketing, how to identify target markets and set marketing objectives, and then understanding the customer experience. And then we're going to take a little break. And when we come back, we'll take a look at brand recognition, generating sales, and gaining a competitive edge. Marketing tools and annual planning templates, marketing budgets, relationship building and networking strategies for small business, and the latest marketing trends and technology. And I may just take my computer outside so that we don't have to hear all of this echo. That'll be fun. All right, so I want you guys to get involved. The more you get involved, the more energy it gives me. And so before we begin, before I start talking about a whole presentation on how to build your one-year marketing strategy and plan, I'd like to make sure that we're all on the same plane or have different views of what marketing is. So go ahead, feel free to put up your hand or just unmute yourself or write it in the chat what you think marketing is. And then after that, I want to know what challenges you have with marketing. All right, so who wants to go first? Oh, come on. Are you guys shy? Just go ahead and unmute yourself.
Okay,
yeah.
yeah. It's
Go ahead.
Vajiha. I've got a biased definition of marketing because I have been in marketing. So for me, it's the art of influencing your target audience and the general environment which might get more customers for you. So it's the art of influencing.
Okay, the art of influencing. Okay, so you can get attention and then hopefully turn that attention into
Sales.
dollar bills. Okay. All right. So, and then it's wonderful to talk to another marketing professional. What challenges would you say you yourself have had with marketing or challenges that your customers and clients may have with marketing?
As a marketer, I've had it difficult to identify my target market based on their behaviors. But to be fair, that was about 10 odd years ago. Now,
Okay.
with the use of social media in purchasing, the marketing funnel, everybody goes through some form of customer journey touch point, which is electronic. It's become a bit easier, though still difficult, because when I come to a new country, it's kind of new to me as well to understand the behaviors of generally the population that I want to target. So, getting my market research done is one big challenge for my own brand. But as a marketeer, converting the customers from the consideration stage to the purchase, the end of the funnel, and then keeping them loyal, that is the hardest part.
Woo! You said it all. I don't even need to teach the class. That was excellent. Yeah, no, you touched on a lot of things there. You talked about the research that's involved. And, this is the thing. I love working with entrepreneurs. As I said, I've been with Access for a long time because it helps keep me connected to what real people are struggling with. And it's very different than corporate marketing that's just, in this little bubble. And so you talked about research, which is a sophisticated part of marketing that unless you went to school for it or worked in the industry, most people won't know about it. They're just like, oh, let me go on GoDaddy and get a domain. And now I'm in business and I'm going to open up a Shopify site and make $1 million and retire. Right. And that's just not the reality. You have
True.
to do the research. You have to identify your target audience. And you're right. Their preferences and influences change on a dime. So you're always chasing them, trying to keep up with what they want. You talked about the customer journey. and then getting them, like you said, from interest to purchase. And then something you mentioned, which a lot of people don't consider, unless again, you are in the trenches of marketing, is keeping them loyal. Like,
A
they
big
say
thing.
that the customer is always right because it's way easier to keep a customer, and someone who's already spent with you will be more likely to spend with you in the future, rather than you have to spend all your time, energy, effort, resources, and money trying to get a new customer. So you want to keep your customers loyal, and you want to have a high lifetime value of the client. It's not like a wham bam, thank you, ma'am, thank you for your money and done, because then you have
Yeah,
to go and look for more customers and clients. So
true.
you want to keep them loyal. So that was a really great point. So thank you very much for sharing what marketing is to you and what challenges you face with marketing. Is there anybody else? Going once, going twice? Okay. I think we might have a shy bunch. All right, let's see what happens. All right, so we're gonna talk about, so you just heard me talking to Wajiha, is that how you say your name? Okay, on just some of the different aspects of marketing, and we're both marketing professionals and touched on those things, like, within a matter of minutes. And when I tell you the scary news is, but I'm gonna find a way to simplify it for you. I have found a way to simplify it for you. The scary thing is, for each of those touch points that we mentioned, there are at least thousands more. There's things like attribution, like where did this lead come in? Did it come from social media? Did it come from a website? Because when companies are allocating their marketing budgets, they have to know where to put them. And that's based on, like we said, data and research. So here is something that I created for my company. It's called the 10 Commandments of Marketing. And I start every presentation this way. And it might seem a little bit odd at first, but you'll understand why I'm doing it this way in a moment. Because marketing is so big and so vast, what I try to do is simplify it. And, I don't know why you guys want to be in business. I don't know why you want to have income, who you want to help or serve or impact. I don't know. But for me, I wanted to leave a legacy for my children. And so I'm like, let me teach them the skills of marketing, because if they understand marketing, they can sell anything in the world. They can sell multiple products. They can learn to sell online, and then they won't have to work for the man, right? They won't have to be under someone else's thumb asking permission to go on vacation or whatever. I wanted my children to be independent. So I thought, how can I simplify marketing for them? And so I came up with something called the 10 Commandments of Marketing. And again, I'm starting here because we're going to be talking about a lot. You're going to feel overwhelmed. Your head might get a little bit swollen. I don't know if you guys get access to the recording or the slides, but so, feel free to screenshot this if you want. But if you remember nothing else that I talk about today, I want you to remember these 10 commandments of marketing, because they will always help put you back on the path of like course correction or readjustment. If you're feeling lost or confused or scattered or overwhelmed when it comes to your marketing, you can just go back and refer to the 10 commandments of marketing. And before I tell you what they are, I'm going to let you know that one of the things we're going to talk about in this presentation is, if you want to get attention from customers and clients, you're going to have to break through the clutter. There's so much advertising, right? So how do you stand out? How do you differentiate yourself? How do you get attention? How do you get someone to pay attention to you? You have to find out how you are different, better, faster, less expensive, better quality. Why did you get into this business? What is it that you do better than your competitor? And if you were the consumer standing in front of you and 3 or 4 or 10 other competitors that are in the exact same market as you are, why should a competitor choose you? It's kind of like The Bachelor or The Bachelorette. If you guys have seen that, it's like, who are you going to give the rose to? You have so many options, right? And they're all offering good things. But at the end of the day, you have to like sort of peel it away and find out, what it is for you. So I say all that to say, I own a marketing company. Wajia does marketing. I mean, if I'm trying to get somebody to pay me $650 a month, or 800 or 1,000 or $2,500 a month for marketing, why would they do that when they can post on social media themselves? Their cousin down the street can do the website, their little brother or, son can be the videographer. It's very hard to different, and everyone's offering SEO, and everyone's offering video marketing services. How does a little marketing company like mine, Mapdom, make itself stand out in the crowd? So again, you'll understand why I'm starting the presentation this way, but it's creating something that is completely unique to you. It's called your USP, your unique selling proposition, something that you can say that nobody else can say, right? When that bachelor or bachelorette picks their partner, it's because that person had one thing that was a little bit different or a little bit better or clicked or connected more than it happened with any other contestant. So for me, I'm like, okay, well, I'm a marketing company. How am I going to make myself stand out? And so I created this, the 10 Commandments of Marketing. And remember, I created it to be simple for my children, to make marketing simple enough that my children could understand it. I wanted to make it relatable. Most people have heard of the 10 Commandments, and intuitively, it's about rules if you want to get good results or get into heaven, right? And you'll notice as I go through all of them, it also rhymes. So even though I'm teaching a class today, I'm also implementing real life practical examples on how the theory of what I teach you, how I actually implement it in my business to get these results. So what I want you to take away from this first few minutes that we've spent together is you have to differentiate yourself to stand out in the marketplace. And the way that I did that, one of the ways that I did that was to create this, which is called the 10 Commandments of Marketing. And I'm going to read them to you now. So again, we're going to be spending 2 hours together. If you get confused about anything else, or if you get lost in the information about anything else I teach you later today, always come back to the 10 Commandments. All right, let's go. The first commandment is know thy business until thy business be true. Know your competitors' ways and you'll never be blue. Shine the light on what makes you great. Number 4, honor your audience segments in every single way. Number 5, be not general or surely your business will fall ill. Number 6, commit not off the cuff marketing. Be targeted, use skill. Number 7, market smartly and only where it makes good sense. Number 8, monitor your results, do testing, be dense. And when I say be dense, I mean don't do shallow marketing. Just don't, post for posting's sake. Have a strategy. Look at your data, look at your analytics. What works, what doesn't work? Be dense. Number 9 is thou shalt not rely solely on one simple marketing strategy. And number 10 is thou shalt move to paid advertising only after testing organically. Okay, so those are the 10 commandments. You've got to know your business, what you offer. You got to know your competitors' ways, so you'll know, what makes you better, why people should choose you. And then number 3, you highlight that difference. Again, we're cheaper, faster, better quality, higher education, more testimonials, whatever it is. What makes you different? Why should people choose you? And then you have to do the research and find out who is your ideal target audience and honor them in every single way. So if they're on TikTok, be on TikTok. If they're on LinkedIn, go to LinkedIn. Don't just do what, oh, well, so-and-so said, or I read this blog, or I saw this post where someone said. All of that is great advice for them, but you have to know your audience. Maybe they like flyers, maybe they like phone calls, maybe it'd be better to target them on the side of a bus or like a TTC bench, right? Maybe the best place to target them is in the grocery store for those community boards where you're doing the old school style, or you could be as advanced as, using digital marketing and AI. So it just depends on where your audience is, and then that will help inform and guide your marketing decisions. And then don't be general, right? Like speak specifically to your audience. Don't just say, are you an entrepreneur who would like to have digital marketing services? Because again, everybody's saying that. So it's, are you a mompreneur who feels really pulled between spending time with your children and doing the things that you have to do to make your business work. And wouldn't it be so much easier if someone could handle the marketing part of it, but you don't have enough money? And if you could only find a solution where you could get marketing services at a price you could, you know what I mean? So you can't just be general. You have to be specific. You have to know your audience, their pain points, and you have to speak to them in your marketing and in your content to get their attention in this crowded, noisy marketplace. Right? Then don't do off the cuff marketing. Oh, I better post something today. What should I post? No, be targeted, use skills. So you want to have strategy, you want to have a plan, which is what we're talking about today, which is what we will be talking about today, how to build your 1-year marketing strategy and plan. And then you got to look at your results. You know, just again, just look at your analytics. Do people respond more in the morning, or did you get more leads from LinkedIn, or did you get less leads from social media, but they spent more, right? So you got to look at your results and do testing and be dense. Like I said earlier in the example, don't do shallow marketing. And this is what's going to help you succeed. This is what high level, you know, this is the, like I said, it's way deeper than this. I just tried to simplify it. But this is what all those successful corporations that are making millions and billions of dollars, right? I always say every small business, no, sorry, every big business is just a little business that grew with better marketing, management, and operations. So you guys also have the chance to become as big as you want to be in business by following the rules and the principles that corporations follow. They do their research. They know what their competitors are doing. They know how to highlight their benefits. Oh, we are an economy vehicle compared to we're good for soccer moms, compared to, oh, you know, you're a man, a middle-aged man going through a midlife crisis, and now you want a red Ferrari with the, you know, rooftop down. It's like you have to know those are all vehicles. They'll all take you from one place to another place, but you differentiate yourself in the market, know who your target audience is, and then offer a different message, right? And then number 9 is don't rely simply on one simple marketing strategy. Again, you want to test, you want to see which is better. So try to be, you know, you might want to do traditional marketing like TV or inline stream or newspaper ad or magazine ad or TV, radio, flyers. You know, you might want to do some traditional stuff in conjunction with some digital stuff. Maybe you're on Instagram or whatever. And if you're only on if you're only on social media, maybe you want to be on Instagram and LinkedIn to change to you know, test out that difference, or TikTok and YouTube to test out that difference, but try to be in at least 2 different places. So don't rely on one simple marketing strategy. And then lastly, number 10 is, you know, don't jump into paid ads too quickly. I've seen it many, many times where businesses are struggling, they need to get some money in, they're like, I got to take out some ads. And they like that. That's why this commandment exists. Like, don't just do off the cuff marketing. So, you know, this business owner is struggling and they're like, oh, I got to get paid ads. Let me try to learn, you know, meta ads or YouTube ads really quickly, and then put together something and throw it up online and, you know, throw $1,000 at it and hope that somebody buys, and then nobody does. And then you're ejected and then you're out $1,000, and it can be really hard. So the 10th commandment is thou shalt not move to paid advertising you're only move to paid advertising after testing organically. Okay, so that might not be what you expected of this presentation this morning, but like I said, we're going to get into a lot of stuff. And if you get lost or confused, today, tomorrow, next week, next year, whatever, you can always come back to the 10 commandments of marketing and be like, okay, Nikimbe said, know my business and my business be true. Know my business and to my business be true. What do I offer? What are my services? What are my products? What are my price points? What are my features? What are my benefits? What is my business about? Then who are my competitors? These are my competitors. This is what they do better than me. This is what I do better than them. I'm going to talk about that in my marketing. I'm going to shine the light on what makes me great. And then I'm going to figure out who exactly is my target market. Somebody might be good for Walmart, somebody might be good for Target, right? They're competitors, but different people shop there for different reasons, right? So again, the 10 commandments of marketing. And with that, I will get into the presentation. So we'll have some interactive opportunities. I'm going to ask you about your business. Feel free to raise your hand and ask questions. I do believe that they have some practice sheets for you guys to make notes later on, or however it works. I think this is the group. I hope that I copied and pasted the right group this morning. But the 10 commandments apply to everybody. The marketing fundamentals, foundation, and frameworks can be applied to any business. You have to tweak it and customize it to you, but the foundation, the framework, and the fundamentals never change. So everything I'm going to show you here today is applicable to your business. If it's cultural intelligence, consulting service, and cybersecurity, buying on auction and selling online, if you want to have food, Nigerian takeout, or any kind of specialty food, e-commerce, having a consulting firm, party decorations, aesthetics, hassle-free auto financing, like boom, right there. The benefit is right there. I love this. That one could, Ruth, if I really hope I copied the right list.
I think that is some other group.
Is it
don't.
another group? Okay, so
Yeah.
I got yours on another one, but I will put yours on here and we will go after them. But the point of this, what I'm trying to say is that these, the principles that I'm showing you are applicable to all different types of businesses. All right, so let me take off my phone. Sorry about that. So a little bit about me. I'm an award-winning graduate from the University of Toronto. I have my MBA from Northeastern University, specializing in marketing, innovation, and entrepreneurship. I'm a project management professional with over 23 years. I keep saying I'm going to update this slide every time I teach this class, and I never do. But anyway, over 23 years of senior leadership positions in the public and private sector. I've worked for the Toronto Sun, Bank of Montreal, Government of Ontario, federal government. I've worked on the local level. I've worked with franchises, so startups, whatever. I've also worked internationally on all levels. Oh, it says it right there. I've also worked internationally with all different levels of businesses. I did a TEDx talk on how to create a life you love through vision. I'm an empowerment life specialist. I try to give people the tools to help them empower themselves in their lives. I'm an executive coach, motivational speaker, author, publisher, writer, and teacher. And with that, let's really begin. So we already talked about this. What is marketing? Is the process, the art and the science in reality of bringing awareness to a service or product. That's basically what marketing is. So it's getting people interested in your service or product. And that happens, as I mentioned, through market research, analysis, understanding your ideal customer interests. And it pertains to everything. So it's not just the flyers or the logo or the website. It's the person who's answering your phone and their demeanor. Is everyone kind of saying the same thing? It can be your internal culture of your company that bleeds out into, the world, the distribution methods, the shrink wrap around the trucks, right? All of that, the packaging, it all sends subtle messages that send subtle cues that help to attract your ideal client, just like the subtle cues. I don't know, is it pheromones? I guess it is. I think it's pheromones. These things that we don't even know that we're sending off that really get people to be attracted to you or repelled to you or have nothing at all, right? It's the same. It's the subtlest little cues. And that's why knowing who your target market is and really understanding your customer and going through their customer journey, which we're going to talk about a little bit more in this presentation, is so important, right? And just going back here for a second, I don't want to jump too far ahead of the next slide. But when I gave you guys the example of commit not, what is it? Well, I can't remember what the name of it is, but it's like don't do general marketing. You have to be very targeted. So again, most people are going out there saying, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a marketer. Sorry, that was my example. I'm a marketer, I help entrepreneurs with their marketing. That's a very different story than grabbing someone's attention and saying, hey, are you a stressed out mother? Are you a stressed out mom with kids who's got a side hustle and all you're trying to do is get out of your 9 to 5 so that you don't have to be stressed out and angry in the morning and sitting in traffic and wondering if you're going to get a call from the principal at school that day and then have to leave and explain that to your boss and feel odd. And then you don't know, you have to still do what the boss wants you to do so that you can get the paycheck to send the kids to soccer. If that's you and you would want one little thing taking off your table, but don't have a lot of money, I want to talk to you about marketing. Completely different message, right? So that's what I'm saying. You have to really understand your customer, go through the customer journey, understand their experience, feel their pain, and sell their pain back to them. Let them see themselves in your messaging and be like, oh, she knows exactly what I'm talking about. No, I'm not just an entrepreneur. I'm a stressed out entrepreneur mom with this, that, and that. That's how you stand out in the crowd. All right. So anyway, marketing is just getting attention for your business, but I always take a minute to differentiate between sales and marketing. Because again, I've been in the industry for, about 25 years, and I've seen people take out radio ads. I've seen people, market on social media and they spend some money and it doesn't work and it doesn't convert, and then they get upset or dejected. They get mad with the media buying agency, or they get mad at the marketing person, or you know what I mean, or the sales rep. But the truth of the matter is that there is a difference between sales and marketing. Sales is working directly with those leads and prospects and getting them to convert, right? It's not like, and how many times do you guys see this where you go online and as soon as you see something, you buy right away? You don't. You shop. You go to one website and another website. It's just like if you're getting life insurance or auto insurance, you compare. So you're going to be going to different people's websites and seeing, different looks. Like one website might look better than another, or the customer experience, right? And so marketing is just getting the attention. But once they get into your funnel, once they, give you their name or number or come into the store, it doesn't necessarily mean they're going to buy. They're just interested. They've moved from leads to prospects. And now it's the salesperson, it's the sales department. That's why in larger corporations, there is a differentiation between marketing and sales. They're two different things. They're two different departments. So don't think that just because you're marketing, that it's going to immediately translate into sales. That's not how it works, right? Marketing is, it's about lead nurturing. It's about following up. It's about engagement and connection and getting people to know, like, and trust you so that they want to do business with you and give you their hard-earned money. They have a lot of options out there. So although this is not directly related to the presentation, it's very important that you understand the difference between sales and marketing. So now that we've talked about marketing, let's talk about strategy. One of the things I talked about in the 10 Commandments is like, don't just do off-the-cuff marketing. You have to have a strategy. You have to have a plan. And just like the 10 Commandments, it takes time. Okay, I'm not going to lie. It takes time because you got to plan it and research it and write it down. But once you have that plan written out, you can always refer to it. Life is going to happen. People are going to get laid off. You're going to get distracted. You might feel depressed. You might be sick. You might have to take a job. All sorts of things are going to take you off track from your marketing and growing your business. But if you have a business plan and you have a marketing plan, then you have a document you can always refer to and pick up. It could be in the middle of March. It could be at 2 a.m. on a Tuesday in January. It doesn't matter. You have a plan to refer to. So it's very important to get a plan. A goal without a plan is just a wish. So we covered in depth, like, what is marketing, but what is strategy? Strategy is a careful plan or method for achieving a particular goal over a long period of time. So you set a goal or objective. You're like, where do I want to go? When do I want to get there? And then work backwards. What are all of the different steps or dependencies that I need to have in place before I can do this thing? Yeah, I was going to give you an example, but then I'll just go in a deep rabbit hole and we don't want that. So anyway, it's important to have a plan because, like I said, it's the foundation to help you project your objectives to achieve your ultimate goals, right? It helps you define the full scope of a project. And later on, we'll talk about the different objectives you can have, because you can have an objective to just get leads and grow your email list so that you have people to sell different services and products to down the line. You can have a goal to make a certain amount of money by the end of the year, but making a certain amount of money and keeping a certain amount of money are two different things. You can have a revenue goal, you can have a profit goal, you can have a break-even goal, you can have a goal just to grow your digital presence. We have no online, we have no digital, we're not online. We need to get on YouTube. We need to open up a stand store. We need to start posting on LinkedIn. We need to, right? So once you know your goals and objectives, you can work backwards and set deadlines to measure your success. And then once the campaign or once the project is over, or every 3 months or 6 months or whatever, you can, that's why I said also in the 10 Commandments, it's important to look at your analytics, because you'll be able to go and do research and say, oh, you know what, this is a really slow period for us. Maybe we should have a sale, or maybe we should look at a different strategy, right? So it's really important. Now, why do you guys just want to raise your hand really quick? Because I can't really see anybody. Raise your hand if you guys already have a marketing plan. Does anybody already have a marketing plan? Nope, no hands up yet. Okay. All right. Well, yeah. So yeah, you guys are gonna learn a lot. So again, that's why I started the 10 Commandments, because you know it's relatively easy to remember and it's fun and cute and quirky and all those kind of things. All right, so one of the things we talked about is to know thy business and thy business be true, to know thy competitors' ways, and you'll never be blue. So how do you do that? You can do something called a SWOT analysis, and that is when you take a look at your strengths, your weaknesses, your opportunities, and your threats. Like I said earlier, shine the light on what makes you great. What is your strength? You know, we have a saffron spice that you can use in your restaurant that is grown on incredibly fertile soil with no pesticides, and it has a higher uptake of nutrients. Therefore, you can market that in your restaurant and charge a higher price for your XYZ meal. You know what I mean? What are your strengths? You have to know what they are. That's why the first thing is know thy business, and to thy business be true. You have to know your business so that you can know your strengths. And while you're doing your research and while you're also looking at your competitors and seeing, you know, what they're good at, what they suck at, you know, maybe they have really good customer service, or maybe they have really quick delivery or whatever. You also, in your research process, you also have to take a look at and be honest with your weaknesses. What are you not that great at? And then all you have to do is really turn your weakness around. For example, when I kind of was exiting corporate back in 2017, I was critiquing other people's things. And as you can tell, I'm very energetic and I have quite the personality. And so I was critiquing somebody's website or mobile app, and I was hiring people to work with me. And I'm a Black woman, as you can see, and it was an older white guy who was applying for the sales job. So he was going to go and sell our marketing services and mobile apps to small businesses. And he said something that no Black woman or woman of color wants to hear, which is, yeah, so I saw some of your videos and you're rather brash. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm coming across online as very rude. And I'm like, that's not a good look in business at all. Like, this is going to hurt my business. I'm never going to get clients. And I thought, but I am who I am. And if I wear a mask and some situation arises that brings out the real me, they're going to be like, what the heck? Who is that girl? Like, I thought she was so nice and sweet and quiet. So I was like, I have to be me. I don't want to put on a mask because one day the mask could fall off. So I'm like, I'm just going to use that to my advantage. So there was one lady who also was a Black lady. She is a Black lady. She also had a marketing company. So technically she was my direct competitor, right? Let's say let's say you were looking for a marketing company run by a Black woman because you sell Black hair care products. I don't know, but they would be able to choose me or her. And she was very nice and prissy and prime and quiet and wore pearls and nice clothes. And she was very slow when she spoke. She was very different than me. She was very professional. She was very corporate. And then there's me, and I'm loud and I'm colorful, I'm bold, I'm blah. So I thought, you know what? Instead of looking at this as a weakness, I'm going to turn it into a strength. This is my personality. This is my brand. Now the marketplace has choice. If you want somebody who's slow and quiet and professional, and that's fine. We all have different personalities. But if you want to get work done and have fun and have success and results and feel loved on while you're doing it, then I'm the one that you choose. So again, the point of this is just to show you that you really want to do a SWOT analysis on yourself and your competitors and understand what are your strengths, what are your weaknesses, how can you turn those threats into opportunities, okay? And then you can work all of that into your marketing, because now I can say, hey, are you looking for a marketing company with a leader who's fun and will make you feel like you're talking to your best friend? That's going to be a different marketing campaign than what my competitor would do, which would be like, I've worked with this bank and I've worked with the government of Canada and I've helped this politician. And so, you know, they're going to use that in their marketing to attract the ideal client. All right, so when you guys get to this part in your, you know, your business journey, make sure that you have a SWOT analysis. You now understand why they're important and why and what could possibly happen if you don't have one, right? All of this is about, again, oh, Wajiha has a question. Okay, 1 second, hon. So all of this is important. So you have something to refer to and you'll be able to do better marketing. So even after you leave this presentation, you don't have to have all of those accolades and all the experience and the awards and education. You don't have to have all of that, because I'm giving you the basics and the fundamentals that I use when I execute any marketing plan for any company. The first thing I do, because again, I work in so many different industries, from a solopreneur to a Fortune 500 company, completely different needs, access, resources, money, experience, everything. So I can't adjust my process for every business that I go to, because then the ramp up period would be so long and I would get lost. So I'm like, you know what? It doesn't matter if you sell cars or e-com. What's your business? What do you do? What's your service, your price point? What do you do better than everybody else? Who are your competitors? What are they good? What are the messaging? Who are we going after? And once I have all those answers, then I create a sophisticated marketing plan around that framework and including the fundamentals that I build on a foundation. So yes, Wajiha, go ahead, please.
Yeah, by your example that you gave me, a question popped up that, and this is something I have struggled as a brand manager, still I'm struggling as an entrepreneur. When I'm designing my brand's voice, do I build in my own, obviously my values will come in, but do I build in my own personal voice into the brand voice, or do I let the brand develop its voice by the people who purchase it and the people who are loyal to it?
Well, I think it's a two-step process. I think with any business, like there's this whole other thing I could teach on branding, but there's an exercise I take people through called a core analysis, CORE, and it stands for what was the creative moment when you started your business? What was your original thought? What was your reaction to that thought? And then how and why did you execute? And when I get that story of how a business starts, I'm always able to sort of capture the DNA. And it's that little thing, it's the spark in the seed that started the business that always differentiates you from your competitors and makes you different, because everybody has a unique story. So I say that to say your business is, you're right, it's going to have your values in it from the moment that you launch, because there's nothing else to reference. But once you start putting it out there, just like a child who grows from an embryo to a full-grown adult, right? It's like you're shaped all on your own, but then you run into things, people, and experiences that shape you and shape your brand, and you get feedback, and then maybe you niche down, and then maybe, you know what I mean? And so rather than being scattered and across the board and trying to serve everything to everyone, you're like, I'm going to serve this market. I'm going to serve them extremely well. I'm going to serve them better than anybody else. They're going to be loyal with me. They're going to spend $100,000 a year, and I'm going to put aside this much for my investments, this much for bills, this much for the business growth, and life is going to be good. That's what's going to happen. We got someone new, Krishna.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi. Yeah, so my questions was in line with the SWOT analysis. I have been trying to do that and understand. So my business is not a product-based business. It's more like a service that I want to offer to people.
Okay.
So for me, it gets a little bit challenging to understand. Okay, I know my strengths. I know somewhere what are one of the weakness which I feel because it's a service, it's more person driven. I have to be physically present there. If there is someone else, the kind of way they would deliver would change as compared to what I in person can deliver to someone. So, how, like, do you have, or if you can guide what kind of framework or thought process I should have to understand the strength, weaknesses, opportunities, or threats that usually in consulting or a service-driven business we would be able to analyze?
Okay, we're gonna go through a quick exercise. What is your business? What
So
service?
it is, yeah, it is more of operational and human resource related consulting from overall, which includes a bit of EI touch.
EI?
Yeah, like emotional intelligence for the
Okay,
day-to-day
so
operations.
okay, so if I were to just, and because I don't know anything about your business, and obviously when you're talking to your ideal audience, they'll understand some of your terminology. But if I was to just sort of break it down, it's basically sort of HR consulting with emotional intelligence.
In some way, yeah, we can put it like that under that bracket.
Okay, and who would your ideal target audience be? Like, is that corporations, obviously?
Yes, it will be small and mid-size companies.
Okay, so HR, what are your strengths? So there are other HR consulting companies. What makes you different? Are you different because you offer the emotional intelligence component? Are you different because you have a lower price point? Are you different or better because you work with them for 6 months as opposed to your competitors who work for 3? Have you done the competitive research yet? And if you haven't, these are the questions you want to ask when you're doing your SWOT analysis for yourself and your competitors and following the 10 commandments. So do you know those things? Because those could be your strengths. You're like, or you could be like, you come from a very, well, again, I don't know you, so you would also have to know yourself, but maybe you say, I come from a very compassionate place, or even looking at our different
Yeah.
personalities, right? You could say my strength is that, I will work with you, you won't feel rushed. Whereas, if you work with my competitor, Nakimbe, she's like a fireball and you might feel overwhelmed and knocked over. So, right, you just have to know yourself
Got
and
it.
market your strength, look at your weakness. And if someone says, well, oh, she's too quiet and she's too demure and she's too young, she probably doesn't have enough experience to work with, a high level, small to mid-size corporation like ours, you turn that into a weakness. You might
Hmm.
say, well, some people might think that I'm too young to be an HR consultant, or that, I look too demure, but trust me, just like Mighty Mouse, under this is a fierce warrior who will go to work for you, but in a very with quiet strength. So
That's exactly what it is.
yeah, and then you would say something like, so I did the Mighty Mouse example, and then you could say something like, oh, what was the other thought? There was something else. Oh, right, if they're like, oh, she's too young, like we're 45 and we're 50 and we've been CEOs for so long. What does this young kid know?
Yeah.
You could be like, look, I know that it might seem to you like I don't have years of experience like you do, but the reason that you want an HR person, who's a little bit younger is because I'm on the pulse of and the cutting edge of what's actually happening and what's about to happen in your organization with the younger people who will be coming in. I can offer new language to your corporation that your senior executives don't even have access to, right? So see, and this is why I like doing these things, because it's one thing to do it theoretically. I can talk to you about a SWOT analysis, but we've literally just done one right here. What's your strength? What's your weakness? Look at your competitors. Again, I use myself as the competitor in this example because we're different. And then, I'll be like, oh, she's so young. Don't even go with her. I have my master's, because that's what your competitors are going to do. So that's a perfect example of how to look at your strengths, weaknesses, and turn those threats into opportunities. But you have to follow the 10 commandments. You have to know yourself. You have to know your business. You have to know who you are, your DNA. Why did you start it? What are your beliefs? What are your values? What are you trying to accomplish? And then look at your competitors, right? And you could even say something like, yeah, your competitors, they're just in it for the buck. I'm in it for the partnership. They're in it for the profit. I'm in it for the partnership. That's a line right there. That's a line right there. So yeah, I
Yeah,
could go all day. Anyway,
perfect.
that's a perfect segue leading into branding. So what is branding? Branding is all the different elements to your brand. So I mentioned that before. It's the colors, it's the logo, it's the messaging, it's how people answer the phone. It's whether you use glossy paper or matte paper, if you have your business card this way or that way, all of those things are branding, and people don't necessarily think about branding. A lot of people just think branding is, their website and their logo. And I'll tell you with my Maptum, so if you guys saw my logo with the fist, because again, I really am about empowerment. My mission is to empower small businesses with the proper tools and education they need to market their businesses effectively so that they can be profitable, take those profits, invest them, and then live the life of their dreams. It's not just about marketing for me. It's about empowerment. So I have the power fist in my logo. The font that I chose was Impact. And again, because I have the corporate background and because I have the academic background in marketing, I didn't do what I see a lot of entrepreneurs do. It's like, what's my favorite color? And what font do I like? And it has nothing to do with you. It's about your consumer and the message that you want to send. So my message is like, I want to have an impact in your life. I am bold. So I'm like, what fonts, show impact and boldness? And they showed me a couple of fonts and I picked the one that I picked. It's not all curly Q and cursive and fancy because I'm not trying to be that kind of marketer. I'm not that kind of person, right? We also looked at color psychology. That's something you guys might want to look at as well. And so I thought, okay, well, yes, I get results. I'm professional. I've got lots of rewards. So I don't want people to take my silly little behavior and not take me seriously because I get results, very good results in the real world. And so I thought, okay, how do I convey that through color? Right? Again, it's those subtle cues. I'm not going to be physically talking to everybody. So how does my brand convey that message? So I picked the color blue. So of course, there are all different kinds of blues. There's dark blue, there's baby blue. I didn't want a dark blue because to me it was still so serious. And I didn't want a baby blue because I didn't want it to be fluffy. So I picked something that was in between. And then I thought, okay, well, I'm not just professional and I don't want to mislead people and have them think if they do business with me, I'm going to be all serious, right? Which is why I don't work for corporate because my personality is too colorful for boring corporate boardrooms, unless I'm living like on the West Coast in California where you're working with hippies. My personality doesn't really work. So I thought, well, I'm also very colorful. I don't want to, again, mislead people and make them think, oh, she's this educated person who's worked with all these companies and blah, 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 because I'm not that serious. So I'm like, what's a fun color? And again, I did the color psychology, and orange, it represents fun. So again, Maptum, I've got the empowerment fist, I've got the impact font, I've got the blue for the serious, the trust, the results, and I've got the orange for the fun, right? So when you're thinking about your business, you have to do the same thing. We talked about what branding is, and you know what all the different elements are, right? And how do you develop your brand? It's usually through your brand story. And your brand story kind of comes from, again, the core exercise that I told you I take clients through, which is CORE, creative moment, original thought. What was your reaction and how did you execute? And I'll tell you, I do that because, let me go back here. I do that because, again, it is so noisy, it is so competitive in the marketplace, but the one thing no one can replicate is your unique story, your unique vision or reason for coming into this, right? Krishna is who Krishna is. Vijaya is who Vijaya is. It doesn't matter. No one can take that away from you. So just work your personality into your story. So again, it's the process of creating a strong, positive perception of your company, its products or services in the minds of your customers by combining all of those elements like the logo, the design, the mission statement, and having that consistent theme through all of your marketing communications. So I told you guys what my mission is as a business, and you should think about what your mission is as well, because it will help inform and bring insight into your brand story. It will highlight your differentiator, and you can use that messaging in your marketing. So again, for me, I'll tell you really quickly how my whole core thing started. And that's why I have access record every session, because every session is different and I don't know what kind of inspiration is going to hit me. But I'm going to tell you a quick story. When I take myself through the core exercise, it's like, what was the creative moment? Like, why am I an entrepreneur? And I remember being around 12 years old, my father coming home, you know, counting his money, complaining about his bills, hating his job. And I'm a kid, so I'm picking up on this, right? And so the impression that was left on me was that jobs suck, jobs steal your life and steal your freedom. And I'm a kid, so I'm impressionable. And so I've always wanted to free people from employment and bondage, right? So again, my mission is to empower small businesses with the proper tools and education they need to market their businesses effectively so that they can be more prosperous and profitable, take those profits, invest them, live off of the interest, and live a life of their dreams. My goal for everybody is freedom. And that's a personal value of mine. So it just bleeds into my business. So once you know your mission statement, then you can, and that's, sorry, when I'm talking about that, because once you know your mission statement and you get to the core of who you are, which I call your marketing DNA, nobody can steal that or rob that from you. No one can replicate it from you. And it's what will make you stand out. No other marketing agency on the planet, doesn't matter how many of them there are. We don't really compete. We compete, but we don't compete because nobody has my story. Everybody else is just marketing services to you. I'm trying to get you freedom. Your success in business is important to me because it's important to your family. It's important to your mother and father. Woo! I can really get emotional about it. So you have to be passionate about your business, and that will bleed into your brand. Whoa! Whew. Okay, anyway, one of the things that you want to do is you want to have your brand guidelines. So that is basically a document that once you document your brand story, you can give it to anybody and it'll be like, this is our colors. It's not dark blue or light blue or middle blue. It's hashtag, you know, FF002. And that is I'm just making that up, but that is the blue that we use everywhere. Like the orange, it's this orange, the red is this red. So you have to, your brand document basically is the rules people follow when they're doing when they're designing your brochures or your flyers or they're posting on social media. You want everything to look consistent, right? Because again, it's those subtle messages, and that's what corporations do so well. Like many people don't know, like I said, a big business is just a little business that grew with good marketing, management, and operations, right? And if you have those same things, you can grow as well. And so people think, oh, you know, this company is so big and Bell Canada is so big. And yeah, they weren't always big, but they're consistent. You're not going to see different kinds of reds or different kinds of logos. Rogers is Rogers, Bell is Bell. They're strong, they're stable. And by being stable and being consistent and having a consistent look and feel and voice, even, you know, I don't speak in very high language. I don't use a lot of jargon. I talk to you like I'm talking to my friend. And even the people you hire in the business, they also have to understand your brand story so that they can incorporate your culture and your values into how they operate. And I say that because I hired a lady and, you know, she wanted to get results. I loved her. She was great. You see my personality, right? And then I trusted her with one of my clients, and she was so what came across as rude to my longtime client because she was very serious and you have to have this into us and we have a schedule. I'm like, I was horrified. I'm like, no, we don't talk to our people that way. So that's why I realized it's important to have everybody understand and on the same page when it comes to your brand story, your culture. You want to have a recognizable signature, your color palette, your voice, the images, etc. So it's consistent everywhere and it develops that subtle trust and stability and foundations. Like, yes, this is a company I can trust. This is a company I can believe in. I mean, they have their marketing right. They're not all over the place. They, you know what I mean? It's those subtle things that get people to buy. Again, it's not just your marketing. It's your marketing, it's your sales. It's all those things wrapped up together. This is an example of a brand document. So this guy, Ryan Knight, you may know him. He is the co-executive director of the Afro-Caribbean Business Network Foundation of Canada. And, you know, they were posting on social media, and I'm like, you know, you guys are supposed to be this high-end business organization, but you look so amateur online. I'm like, let me help you, like, get some consistency. So we looked at the different types of Black businesses that they serve, and you know, we did the research, we looked at the numbers. Let's say 38% were professionals, 32% may have been in arts and entertainment. Another set was in food and beverage. And so when we're posting on their social media, we're not just posting random pictures, we're posting people of their target audience. So in their brand document, we include their brand color with the hex code or the RBG code or whatever code you want to call it, right? So that it's consistent everywhere. We use the right images. So again, people buy things they can see themselves in. So if I can identify or relate to you, then I'll pay attention to you. So if someone sees, oh, that looks like me, I'm, you know, I own a restaurant, or I'm a tax specialist, or I'm a fashion designer, Ryan probably understands me. This organization probably gets me, rather than just posting any old pictures of Black people because it's a Black organization, right? And so again, hiring an amateur student out of school, they're like, I can do your social media for you. I'm just going to post whatever. You guys support Black businesses, I'll post Black people. No, it's all very strategic. Another thing, like, again, corporate marketing is so powerful. I love it so much. Another thing is, when we did the research on all the Black Canadians in Canada, we found that not all Blacks are the same. So you can have long-standing, like, Black Canadians who have been here for like hundreds of years. You've got Blacks that are from the continent of Africa, and then you have a set of Black people that are from the Caribbean, right? So again, be thou not general, or surely your business will fall ill. What we did deliberately in our marketing, again, it's those subtle things that help us win. These guys ended up getting $1 million from the government of Canada after I helped them shape up their brand, because I'm telling you, they were looking so amateur online before, nobody would give them a cent. And so I'm like, no, we got to get professional with this. But anyway, I say that to say the reason that research matters and that people buy when they can see themselves in your service or product. So we even figured out what percentage of the population, what percentage of the Black population is from the Caribbean, what percentage of the Black population is from the continent of Africa, what percent of the population in Canada are, you know, like long-standing Black Canadians. And we use those proportions in the pictures that we use. So you can't put people in a bucket, but you can sort of tell regionality sometimes, right? So all the people that we also represent, they also represent people from those different parts of the African diaspora, right? That is the depth and the level of marketing sophistication that corporations go through. And you wouldn't have even known how to do this if you hadn't come to this presentation. And now you can do the same thing for yourself, because it's not hard. I've already walked the hard path for you, and now I'm giving you a condensed version of success. All right, we are going to break at, what time is it? Whoa, we still have lots of time. We're going to break it around 11 or something like that. I think we have 3 more sections. So section 4, which is the 5 P's of marketing, and then section 5 and section 6, and then we take a break. So I think we're making good time, and I talk fast. So again, Krishna can say, God, if you don't want to talk with someone who's going to talk your ear off, just hire me. I'm so quiet, and I'm sure.
Trust me, I'm not that quiet. It's just the weather.
I'm just teasing you so that I can just be dramatic and entertaining, because I'm over the top. Anyway, so now we'll talk about the 5 P's of marketing. This is now, so when I say the first commandment, know thy business unto thy business be true. And I hope you guys are now starting to understand, why did that crazy lady start off with that part of the presentation? I told you it was going to help feed all of this, and it was something you could remember and always go back to. But when I say sometimes to people, know thy business and to thy business be true. And once somebody called me out on that, they're like, why do you say thy and thou and thee? And I'm like, I'm trying to stand out and be extra. I'm trying to talk like in the olden days, but really it's know your business and to your business be true. And that's a two-parter. So know your business. What are your products? What are your price points? Where do you promote it? And why do you want to promote it there? What is your position or place in the market? So you could be an HR corporate consultant, but perhaps you only work in the healthcare sector, right? So that's one way for you to differentiate yourself. So where are you? There's an XY axis, and it says like you can be high tech or low tech and high price and low price, and kind of where do you fit in that matrix? And then you'll know your position or place in the market. Then you'll know who is the ideal market to speak to. So anyway, just taking a look at your product, your price, the promotion, the place, and the people will help you know your business. And the second part of that statement, know thy business and to thy business be true, I added, well, I deliberately put on that ending part of it, because I could have just said know thy business, right? But I'm like, know thy business and thy business be true, which, by the way, total side note, I think I first saw that in a Matrix movie. And I thought it spoke to me because I've always been a little bit different. And I thought I always got to be true to myself, right? So again, even in my personality, in my personal life, it bleeds into my business. It's like, you just got to be you. Anyway, I say, know thy business and to thy business be true, because in working with thousands of entrepreneurs, when I ask them about their business, they seem a little bit confused, or what they say is really long-winded. Like a perfect example, Krishna, just because we spoke about it, your business and you do so many things. And like me and my marketing company, I could say, I do video marketing and content marketing and podcasts, and I do this and webinars and paid ads. It's like, whoa, what the hell do you do? That's like too much.
Yeah.
Keep it. What do you do? I'm like, map them, marketing, strategy, solutions, right? And so, so Krishna, and I was using you as an example on purpose because you said, well, you do consultancy, what kind of HR with like EI on the side. And for someone who doesn't know anything about that, I'm like, whoa, I don't know what you're talking about. Let's kiss it. Let's keep it simple and stupid. Let's keep it simple for even, I don't know how you say, keep it simple, stupid, but I don't think that's a very nice thing to say, but that's what the saying is. But it's like, whoa, hold on. Pretend I'm stupid here. Like, I don't get it. What is it? It's an HR consultancy firm that specializes, that not specializes, but also has a heavy component or incorporation of emotional intelligence. Boom, ding, I got it. So when I say know your business and to your business be true, don't give a long-winded answer. Like, just what are the nuts and bolts of your business? And then you can fill people in on the details later on. So how do you
Keep
know?
it crisp while branding, basically.
Yeah. So how do you know who you are? What's your price, your promotion, your place, and your people, right? You need to have the perfect connection of combining all of those things, because you can have really great marketing, but if it's a crappy product no one wants, all the marketing in the world is not going to fix that problem. So you, first of all, again, this is where the research comes in. In corporation, we do something called a feasibility analysis. Is this even going to work as an idea? And they have the luxury and the benefit of being able to put money aside for research and development to do a whole thing, only to find out that it's not going to work. Because if it is going to work, they're going to invest a lot of money and make a lot of money on it in the future. But the first thing is to find out, do you even have a desirable product or service that people want, right? What's the competition like? And are you selling it at an attractive price? Is somebody underbidding you, right? But you have to sell it at a certain price because you have to make a certain amount of profit to live. You can't break even because you're not making money. So it has to be an attractive price point. And again, when you do the SWOT analysis, let's say you have to have a higher price and your competitor is saying, well, haha, come do business with us because we have a lower price. You can always say, yeah, we know some of our competitors have lower prices, but that's maybe because they're cutting on quality or customer service. Whereas we are willing to invest a little bit more to make sure that you have a seamless experience that you can count on today, now, and in the future. Boom, different messages, right? Know thy business inside business, be true, know thy competitors' ways, and you'll never be blue. Shine the light on what makes you great. Honor the audience segments in every single way. So you got to take a look at having the right product or service sold at the right price, positioned in the market in the right way, with an attention grabbing, kind of promotional tactics that speak to them towards the right people. If you have a combination of all those 5 P's of marketing, you have the fodder and the foundation to really stand out in the marketplace. And again, it doesn't have to be hard. Now, especially that we have AI, you can ask ChatGPT or Gemini or Claude, this is my business, or this is my business idea. Who is my ideal customers and why? What are their pain points? And here's my brand. And you can have AI create all of this for you. But you guys are getting the corporate and the academic foundation behind why we do what we do. So anyway, here's a quick example of all of the different aspects you can talk about in your marketing. One thing I hear entrepreneurs say all the time is they know they have to produce content, but they don't know what to write. They don't know what to post. So here's a quick hack for you. You can talk about your product. You can talk about the way it works, how it looks, if it has any warranties, like this won't break for 5 years or you get your money back, right? What's the quality of it? It's made from the highest titanium or from fertile ground with the purest soil with the highest nutrient uptake in our saffron spice, right? You can talk about that. You can talk about packaging. You can be, we share the same values as you do, and we care about the environment and the future that and the planet that we're leaving behind for the children in the future. And that's why our products are made with 50% recycled content, right? You can outcompete your competitor who might win in all of these different areas. And again, these are done in particular steps. That's why they're the 10 commandments. That's why you have to do them in that order. Because once you've done your research and you know who you are, you know what your packaging is made of, you know what you stand for, and you do the SWOT analysis, you look at your competitors and you're like, okay, they may be cheaper, they may taste better, they may have all of these things that are better than me, but guess what? We care about the environment and we are committed to using recycled content, which is why we have to charge you a little bit more. And people who share those same values will be willing to buy your product because you share those same values. But if you're not talking about them in the content, no one's going to know. And then you're just another service or product out there on the marketplace like everybody else. When you follow the 10 commandments, when you look at your differentiators and shine the light on what makes you great, that will give you a huge portion and chunk of your marketing content that will help you fuel everything else. Another thing you can talk about in your marketing is your price, right? Guess what? Our XYZ services cost this much money. And then you're like, oh, guess what? This week we're having a 50% off sale. And then you can say, oh, can't afford our larger package. Did you know we have payment plans? And then another one is like, hey, if our competitor, if you see a competitor that beats our prices, bring in the flyer and we'll match it, because you're still capturing market share from your competitor with that offer, because maybe they want to do business with you, but it's cheaper somewhere else and they're just looking for an excuse to do business with you. And now you've just given them one, right? Hey, can't afford our services? No problem. Did you know that we have everyone is approved financing and you can buy it on credit? So those are 5 different things you can talk about just on price alone. So there's no reason or excuse after today's presentation that anyone should say they don't know what to do for content. Just follow the 5 Ps. What are all the different ways you can promote your business? You can do sponsorships and, have your logo and name on the back of t-shirts for the Little League baseball team in your neighborhood, right? You can have flyers or, do those things in the shopping mall, the cork boards, right? You can hire a public relations company to do stuff for you. You can do, on location stuff where you invite people to, try something, whatever. And then what's your message? Like, what are you trying to say? And then what's the method or channel are you trying to say? Are you saying it in print? Are you saying it in video? Are you saying it using AI? Like, what's the channel for the message? Sometimes, I don't know if anyone has heard this, the medium is the message. Like if you are advertising on TV, that's a part of the message. You are catering to people who are watching TV, right? If your message is on the radio, you are catering to people that listen to the radio. So the message is the medium sometimes. And then all of the different places, like where are you located? You know, we have one location in all major cities throughout North America. You know, what are the logistics? We have a location on the West Coast and on the East Coast, so we can get your delivery to you in no time. What are your service levels? We are open from, you know, our locations are open from 9 to 5, or we're open 7 days a week, or, you know, sign up for basic service where it's email support only, or sign up for 24/7 phone access, or sign up for our VIP concierge package where you can access us anytime, no matter what day or night, whatever. What are your locations? You know, talk about your locations. We're online, or we're located in downtown Toronto or North Newmarket or whatever. And then you can talk about your market coverage. So XYZ business serving residents in the greater Toronto area, or, you know, you trust in us, we're your national bank. Like, what's your market coverage? Those are all things you can talk about in your marketing that will help people get to know, like, and understand you, and then get to trust you and eventually buy with you. Because again, not everyone's ready to buy. A lot of people are in research mode. So you want to keep, again, we're going to talk about the customer journey after the break, but you want to keep up that relationship. You want to date your customer. Again, it's not wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. I just met you. Will you go to bed with me? It doesn't work like that. You have to court. You gotta know their interests. You gotta engage. You gotta communicate. You gotta make their life easier. Show them why they should marry you, why they should do business with you. It is the same thing, right? And Washida, is that how did I forget? I don't want to mess up your name. Washida, I'll mess it up. Sorry. But said like something that no one has ever said in all the years that I've taught this class, which is that the loyalty part is important. Keeping your customer, like your spouse or your partner, happy and satisfied, keeping your children, keeping your friends, keeping the relationships with your parents. That requires nurturing and work if it's going to last. The same thing happens with your customer. So what makes a great customer experience? We have, we're making really good time. I'm talking really fast, but I'm getting it all in there. So I'm happy about that. And I'm having a good time. So I hope you guys are having a good time too. I hope they warned you that I'm a little bit silly, but I get results, right? I help 4 companies make $3.85 billion through rebranding and acquisitions in a matter of 4 years. And, you know, so I'm silly, but I'm good. Anyway, so we talked about, I'm just being silly right there too. Anyway, so we talked about, you know, one of the 10 commandments, which is to know that customer and to that customer be true. And that means really getting to know them. Don't just say, oh, we sell services, you know, to, again, I'm just using entrepreneurs as an example, because we're all entrepreneurs, right? But we're all different entrepreneurs, right? So you need to speak to me. You need to know your customers so well that you're speaking their language. And here's a quick tip. Again, this is why I tape these things, because I always say things I never know I'm going to say, but this is a golden nugget right here. One of the award-winning strategies that you can use in your marketing is to follow something called the PAS. I don't know what it is, but it's just PAS. And it stands for problem, agitate, solve. So again, people's attention spans today are so quick. You need to be able to identify the problem and then agitate the problem and then provide the solution very quickly. It's called a hook sometimes in the beginning of your message. So are you a single mom who's frustrated trying to grow your business online, but you don't have the time or the resources to really invest, but you know that you need to do this so your children have a better future and they don't have to go through the same pain that you did? Well, guess what? I've worked with thousands of mothers and blah, 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 and I can help you. So you have to really understand the customer experience. What is that? It's a holistic perspective, not only like you'll hear something called CX, which is, you know, if they go on your website, there's something also called a heat map where you can put a little widget or code on your website in the meta description area. And when people come to your site, it tracks, oh, people, you know, their cursor goes here or they click off really quickly, but you'll be able to see how people interact with your website. Are they clicking the link you want them to click? Are they bouncing off quickly? And then you can make adjustments to your website based on the customer experience so that they can find buttons, you know, at the top menu really quickly. Maybe they've got to scroll down. So when I say a holistic experience, I mean understanding their experience from a personal perspective, from a professional perspective, as well as the technology perspective, because then you're creating a holistic view of that person. And when you are doing your marketing, you know, for example, that they like to make online purchases, or maybe they're older and they actually like to go into the mall and try things on. And, you know, maybe they're in their late 50s or 60s and they were, you know, when they were in their 20s, they went to the store. They don't trust online. They don't want to put in their credit card, right? They don't want to buy something that they can't try on. What if it doesn't fit? It's going to be a hassle to take back, right? So if you understand your customer, you know, if you're trying to sell something to that age bracket, doing it all online might not be the best customer experience for them. And so you're going to lose business that way. Again, this is all where the more sophisticated level of marketing from a corporate perspective and an academic perspective comes in, is because professional corporations do that level of market research. They do surveys, surveys isn't on here, but they do surveys, they get feedback, because they always want to improve. They want to get you as a customer and they want to keep you as a customer. They want to increase their lifetime value of you as a customer. So they don't have to spend time rebuilding all of that trust with someone completely new. Just thought of this is how silly I am. I just thought of a joke. I'm like, that's why sometimes people don't leave a bad marriage. It's because they rather stick with the devil. They don't want to go through all that again. They don't want to date again and get to know someone else's family. It's like, you know what I mean? So you don't want to go and look for a new customer. You want to keep the customers that you have and you want to keep them happy. All right, so a great customer experience, it also means that it's personalized, like I've spoken a lot about here today. You want to make sure that it's timely and it's relevant, and it just makes things seem effortless for them. Like I just came back from a conference and I stayed at the Ritz. And I'm like, this is stupid. Like, why is this like free $400, $800 a night? It's just a bed. I'm just here to sleep. Ooh, so what, they have crown molding on the top. Like I came from very humble beginnings, so I'm fine with like a Motel 6 or a, you know what I mean? It's just a bed. Who cares? I don't need this fancy stuff. I don't need a robe. I got a towel. I'm fine. Right? And so, but then after I stayed there for a few days, I'm like, well, I'm at the Ritz. I'm going to take advantage of this. I'm like, I have some leftover dinner. Can somebody come and heat it up? And they do. And then they bring you water, and then they bring you like nice cutlery. And they're like, is there anything else we can get you? And I'm like, oh, I'm like, now I see. Now I see the difference. You know, this is kind of nice. If you have the money, you want to be pampered. And so you want a personalized experience. You want to make it seamless and remarkable and memorable and consistent, right? Because otherwise, why would you pay $600 a night when you could pay $60 a night? It's about the customer experience and knowing who your customer is, right? Like if you're shopping at Price Chopper or Freshco, you know, the lighting is not like amazing like it is at what is it, Whole Foods, right? So you just have to know your customer, know their experience, and speak to them. And everybody, they say water finds its level. The same thing happens in business. You'll find your customers will find you. Another great thing that you can do, another great reason is no, how do I want to say this? Another benefit to providing a great customer experience is that you get testimonials, right? And now there's more content. So if you provide great customer experiences, you can ask them for a testimonial. You can ask them for a video testimonial. You can ask them for a picture. And now I have one testimonial that I can post as a video. I can post that same video as a graphic design banner I can create in Canva for free. So I have video, text, I have a photo. I can have just somebody read it. I can have AI read it. I can put all of these testimonials together and make a testimonial. What am I trying to say? A compilation, a video testimonial compilation, right? So again, what does this do? It gives me more content. It also helps to showcase who you are in business without you having to say, oh, I'm so great, or we're do this, or we have the highest quality, or we have the best prices, or we're better than our competitors, because yes, I have told you to say all of those things, but it's like, yeah, we've heard it before. Everyone's saying the same thing, right? But it's like, oh, well, this guy Ed said that, Nakimbe's this and the company is this. Oh, okay. And wow, Ricardo says this and that and that. Okay. And Tanya too. Like, wow. So after a while, your customers can become some of your greatest advocates, and they can become like walking billboards for you. And once you get a testimonial, you can use it for life unless they get mad at you and say, take down my testimonial. But right, so it's constant content that I can just recycle over and over and over again, right? I have something called Testimonial Tuesdays. Every Tuesday I post a testimonial. So right now you can see I have 3 weeks of content on Tuesdays just by posting testimonials. And then maybe on the 4th Tuesday of the month, I turn these into a video. Simple. Now, before we go to the break, 2 other quick little sections. Well, one section, part A and B, that we're going to cover, which is, I've talked about a lot of things. You have a lot of options, but when in the beginning I talked about, finding out what your objective is so that you can work backwards. Who do you want to target? Why? Or how much money do you want to make? Or do you just want to increase your digital presence? Do you want to have more videos on YouTube? Do you want to grow your email list? Do you want to open more franchises? Do you want to get 2 more high ticket clients? Like, what's your goal? Once you know those things, you can, work backwards and put the plan in place. So that's why a strategy and a plan are 2 different parts. You have to have your strategy, then you put your plan in place that's going to do everything that needs to be done to accomplish the overall strategy. It's like military, it's like war. It's like you have a strategy and then you execute, right? But you got to do all that research first, right? Including competitor analysis. But anyway, so you want to do something called a SMART analysis, which is when you're looking at setting your marketing objectives, you want to make sure they're specific. I want to make money this year. It's like, no, I want to make $100,000 this year, or I want to grow our social media following by 10% in 6 months. That way you can set midway deadlines and check-in points to see if you're on target. And if you're not, examine why or why not, what did and didn't work. And then you can pivot and do only the things that work so that you make sure that you meet your targets. And then maybe you can catch up. And then by the end of the year, you will actually have gotten it. Don't just say, oh, I want to start a YouTube channel. It's like, well, how many videos do you want to have? I commit to having 1 video a day or 1 video a week. That's going to help. And even it plants a subconscious psychological plant in a seed. Oh my God, it plants a seed in your mind. So once you say it out loud and once you write it down, writing things is very, very powerful. It does seep into your subconscious, and then be like, you know what? I said I was gonna post a video every day and I haven't done one for the last couple of days. Let me do it right now. Whereas if you're like, oh, I want to grow my YouTube channel, I'm going to post videos. That is so nebulous that you may never get to it because you didn't make it concrete. So make sure that your goals and objectives are specific and they're measurable, right? You have to know you hit your target. So you have to be able to measure it. We are 50% towards our target. We're on track to succeed, or we're only 25% to our target. We have to make up time or we're not going to hit it. Right. So it has to be measurable and has to be achievable and realistic. Don't say that, you have a goal to make $1 million and you sell pencils that only write in cursive for 25 cents. Remember, I talked to you guys in the beginning that the research is important, and no matter how good your marketing is, you have to have a feasible service or product that is desired in the marketplace. Right? It has to be achievable and realistic. And again, it should be time bound. So you want to do something by a certain date, because that again is going to give you this internal hustle that you may not even be aware of. Because you're like, oh my gosh, we're getting down, like right now, we're getting down to the end of December. And let's say in the beginning of January, I said I wanted to make a certain amount of money. And you're like, wow, you're not there. That's going to make you feel really crappy. Or let's say June comes around and you're not even close to hitting your target, and then it just creates this crazy momentum in you because you're very competitive and you're very driven, and then you end up producing like 80% of your results in the last quarter of the year because you so wanted to accomplish this goal. You don't want to feel, like a piece of crap. You don't want to, and I'm using that language really to be emphatic. I don't mean to offend anybody, but I really want you guys to be emotional. You guys are here to be entrepreneurs. You obviously want to make money. You want to help somebody or yourself. So like I said, for me, it's not a game. That power fist, I'm very serious about your success and you doing, again, the emotion comes in. You doing for yourself and your family what I essentially want to do for myself, my family, and my dad, is to free people from employee life and bondage and traffic and being under someone else's thumb. So it's super important that you set these smart, specific goals, okay? But otherwise, if you don't, you're not going to hit them. You're going to feel like crap. You're going to try to do it again next year. You're going to have to go back and get a job. Like, I don't want that for you. So be smart and set smart goals. All right, now, lastly, before we go to our break, and we are really making great time. Yes, okay. When you are looking at setting these objectives, you want to look at your target market and consider these different things. Like, where are they geographically located? Like, if you're, doing local SEO, if you have a local business, for example, then, or you have a restaurant and you only are advertising on Facebook to like a 20-mile radius. If you have a restaurant in Mississauga, you're not going to necessarily promote it in the Scarborough Mirror, which I don't even think exists anymore, right? Or are you national? Are you international? And if you're international, just like a lot of you coming from different places, people have different values, different speeds, different cultural acceptances and norms. So how do you, for example, I'm in the US. So if I'm writing something for the US, I don't use like you in words like honor or color. But if I'm writing for the US market, I leave out the U. So British and Canadian English, British English or American English, right? So geographic specificity matters. Then sociographic, I gave you guys the example of people shopping at Whole Food compared to people shopping at Freshco or Price Chopper, right? So you're looking at people's different socioeconomic status. Are they flying first class or staying at the Ritz and they want to go into the private lounge, or do they want to buy the economy fare and not be able to select a seat? All of that is going to play into your language depending on to whom it is you're speaking. And then you want to look at your demographics. Are you speaking to men or women or anybody in between? Are you speaking to older people and then you're going to use older references? Are you speaking to younger people who are going to use younger references? Like, I don't know if any of you guys are on social media, but I'm on Instagram sometimes, and they have these posts about Gen Z language, about skibbity and all this stuff. I'm like, I can't even talk to you, right? So if I'm trying to sell something, I've got to cater my language, my music, my frame of reference. And AI is perfect at this right now. I just came off of, a few weeks ago, I came off of a training with MailChimp, and they were talking about dynamic content. And it even happens on Netflix. Like, if you guys go onto other Netflix profiles, you'll see that they'll show different covers for the same movie, right? But they know that one cover is going to appeal to another one. So the demographics are, are you male, female, anything in between? Are you a boomer, a Gen Xer, a millennial? Are you Gen Z? Right? What platforms might they be on? What's important to them in terms of their value? Like, the younger culture today really appreciates, they want to spend their money with people that are authentic and engage with them, and they don't gatekeep. Right? Older people, they want to talk to you on the phone. They want to meet you face to face. Other people, they're fine to communicate with you text message. The other people's like, I want to know that I'm talking to a real human being. I don't want to talk to a robot. Can I get someone on the line, please? Your marketing can be like, a live human being from North America will pick up the phone every time you call, right? Or the other people like, we'll answer your Insta chat, immediately. So knowing your different demographics is going to help inform your marketing choices. And then how do they behave? Do they vote? Do they not vote? Do they homeschool? Do they go to school? Do they recycle? Do they not recycle? Do they care about the environment? Do they not care about the environment? So how do they behave? Right? So again, I'm not going to get into it, but knowing how they behave will know, like, do they like to commute and ride public transportation or ride bikes because they care about the environment? Or, do they buy a certain type of car that's maybe hybrid, half fuel, half electric? Do they only get electric cars? Do they have these new crazy Teslas? How do they behave? And then you want to look at their psychology. How do they think? What's important to them? Is traditionalism important to them? Is honoring thy parents important to them? Is independence and freedom important to them? So what's their psychology? Again, when you do your research, you know your target audience, you follow the 10 commandments, and you look at all of these things, you can really and truly put together the perfect marketing plan. And so quickly, before we go for a quick, let me see, what's the time? We'll probably go for like a 14-minute break. I think whenever I finish this little chat, we'll go for like 12 to 15 minutes, and then we'll come back around 11:20, and that gives me an hour and 10 minutes to do the last half, which should be fine. Okay. So I talked to you about objectives, right? Not all marketing objectives are the same. And I'm sorry these are so light. I'm supposed to like highlight them so that they turn black, but the technology just isn't working for me today. But your marketing objective, because we just want to introduce new products to the marketplace this year. Like we have a new fashion line, we have a new scent, we have a new candle, we have a new different car line, like whatever. Maybe your goal is just to introduce more services and products to the marketplace. Maybe you want to grow your digital presence. You're not online yet, so you're going to make a goal to, I'm going to get a TikTok, a YouTube, and an Instagram by the end of this year, right? I'm gonna finally set up my LinkedIn page like I said I was going to. Or maybe you want to grow your email list so you can market different services and products to them, because email has one of the highest conversions of all these different things I'm talking about, because they opted to be there. They want the information. They're an engaged, captive audience. And whether they are or are not on social media, or if one of these platforms shut your account down, it doesn't matter. You have your Excel sheet, you have your CVS, CSV, and you'll always have your list. So maybe you just want to grow your list. So instead of trying to sell on the time, sell online all the time, you might be, hey, download my free report. And then you're collecting leads. You might want to get new customers, or you might want to create a whole thing for your existing customers. Guess what? You've been with us for 2 years. We want to offer you 1 month free, right? So you could have that's a whole different marketing campaign, all different messaging, targeting new customers compared to retaining your existing customers. And then you might want to develop brand loyalty. So, buy 9, buy 10, get one free, get 10% off on every birthday, buy one, get one free, or sign up for you and a friend. Like you get a ticket and you get to bring one plus one, right? That's developing sort of brand loyalty. You might want to increase sales, and remember, sales and revenue is different than profit. So you can sell, because some people sometimes just have sales to bring in customers. So they're like, we'll give you 1 year free, and they're like, good, but now they have you. They've had 1 year to massage you and keep you. And then they know, like Google does this very well. You think Gmail is not expensive? Oh, my battery is going to die. Oh, no, 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 no. How is this possible? It's a good thing I saw that. Woo. Okay. So, yeah, or just to increase profit. Oh yeah. So phone companies that say, come with us and get this free, they know they've got your attention for 1 year, and then they'll buy stuff. Oh, and that's what I was saying about Google. You think Gmail is cheap? Why aren't we paying for email? Because they know that they have so much data on you. They could sell, like, they can acquire different services and products to give you exactly what they want. So they don't always want your money. They know that they're going to take a hit on the front end. They're going to go negative with their investment in the front end, knowing the lifetime value of their customer, and they know they're going to make it back on the back end. So with that, I think it really is time for break. Yes. Okay, good. Finally. Woo, I need some water. Okay, so let's come back at 11:25. Let's take a 15-minute break. Yeah, 12 to 15. You can start trickling in about 12 minutes, but I've been talking a lot, and I know I'm probably overwhelming you guys. I hope you don't have a headache, but go get some water or a drink or food for like 15 minutes. We'll come back at 11:25, and that will give me about an hour to finish the rest of it. Okay?
Perfect. See you then.
Okay. Yay. I think I'm back early. Let's see how many people are around. All right, all right, all right. Thank you for having your camera on, by the way. I really appreciate it.
Yeah,
Especially
it
on
helps
Zoom.
in being more interactive and attentive as well.
Yeah, and Arti, thank you so much. Thank you, thank you. You know how time is like always weird? Like I gave us 15 minutes, but I was ready earlier and I was like, maybe I should have given us a shorter lunch. But sometimes when I take 12 minutes, it doesn't feel like it's long enough. So
Yeah.
I guess they say time flies when you're having fun. And I really enjoy teaching. I love teaching this. I love giving this presentation. Like I said, I do it 9 times a year and I've been doing it for 5 years. So this is probably my 40th presentation. So I've literally sat in front of thousands of students and entrepreneurs and heard their stories. And it never gets old because almost every presentation, something changes. Like we weren't talking about AI in these presentations a few years ago. And I always learn something new and, get to have different experiences and work those stories into the presentation. So even though I've given it so many times, I guess I'm saying this break seemed long because they say time flies when you're having fun. And I guess I'm having fun because I enjoy teaching and I enjoy teaching this presentation because I think it's really good. Like I try to make a presentation. Like Access kind of told me what they wanted me to talk about like years ago. And I tweak it depending on what's going on in the industry. But yeah, I never get bored of it. It always
No, we can
changes.
surely feel the energy and the vibe that you bring. So it helps to connect a little more and better.
Yeah, and I love it. And like I said, I know I'm not for everybody. Not everybody's for everybody. My personality is too. I exhaust myself. Like I make myself tired, but I'm just so passionate and lit up. And I'm just wasting time while people come back. I'm just so passionate and lit up because, like I say, when I do that core exercise, and again, that was one of my differentiators. I'm the only person I named it, right? So it's trademarked. It's called the Core 4 branding, precision branding technology. It's just a fancy name for nothing. But when you get to the core and the heart of a person's business, that is where the real differentiator comes from. And because I don't know, because I've given this presentation 40 times and I've never even come close to crying on a presentation. But when it really kind of hits me that the brand and what I stand for is not just about marketing, because you can get marketing from your sister or your cousin down the street who can build a website for you. You can get your own little Wix website, but I know you need real SEO. I know the things entrepreneurs need that corporations do, and most entrepreneurs will never really succeed because the marketplace is so competitive. And so I figure if I can give as much information as possible, like if we never meet again, right? You have the 10 commandments and you can always go back to that if you forget everything else I've told you, because it will seep into your subconscious. I promise you. I promise you, you are a better entrepreneur and marketer for having come to this presentation. And that has nothing to do with ego. It's just am I hormonal? What's wrong with me? It's just about the love that I have for people.
No,
And I
that's
want us
so sweet.
all to be free. That's what I want. Okay, so how do we do that through marketing? All right. So brand recognition, generating sales, and getting a competitive advantage. And I told you how I do that. So I'm like, yeah, I'm, MAPTA marketing, but we have, the core 4 processing, branding technology that's really going to help get to the core of who you are. And then we market your business from that. That is a statement I can say that immediately differentiates me from my competitors, because no other marketers are saying anything like that. They're talking about, we do video marketing and SEO, and here are our results, and here are the testimonials from clients. Everyone is saying the same thing, right? So I can say, and I also created the 10 commandments, which is basically a 10-step process that people can take to understand how to market their business better by implementing all of these 9 things before moving into paid ads. No other marketing company can say that. So you have to do the same thing for yourself by, doing this exercise, and that's finding out what makes you special. Why should someone pick you, marry you? What's your competitive advantage? What do you bring to the table? Then we're going to talk about marketing toolkits and annual planning templates, which really is just AI these days, right? You can just go online and Google it and download something. So we won't be spending much time there. Marketing budgets, that might be a fun, depending on how much time we have, that might be a fun topic that we can get into, because I guess I have, an hour? Let me see. Yeah, I got an hour and 2 minutes. Okay. Well, actually, no, a little less. I usually leave 3 minutes at the end for you guys to just, give me your feedback or tell me what you like about the presentation. So keep that in mind. I'm going to be asking you for some feedback or what nugget you got, your takeaway, what you learned at the end. So yeah, we have about an hour. Great. So we'll talk about marketing budgets if I have, some good time. Relationship building and networking strategies. I don't want to gloss over it because it's really important. And the more and more communities I go to, more and more people, more and more of the sophisticated, highest level, most successful marketers on the planet, that was the convention I just came back from in Orlando, Florida, are saying that digital is one thing, but at the end of the day, consumers still want engagement. They still want connection. They still want something human. Yes, they want all the quick conveniences, but they want connection, they want authenticity, they want community, and so when I work with the top 1% of marketers on the planet, and then I go to corporations and saying, this is what works, they're usually a little bit late to the game. And then small business entrepreneurs are usually the latest ones. By the time they're implementing stuff they think is working, it's already not working. They just don't know it. And then they wonder why it's not working. So my point is, with the hour that I have to try to get through all of these, I don't want to gloss over relationship building because it is actually really important. All of my biggest wins, whatever, have all come through like word of mouth connections, and but also setting myself differently in the marketplace. Like now you have a reason to pay attention to me. Now I have something to talk about. I'm not just a digital marketer, right? So that's where the whole differentiation came in. And again, those are all things I put in place before I even launched my business, because I had the business and the academic background and know how to do so. But most small businesses would never go through this level of, you know, preparation to market because they just don't even know that it exists. But now you guys do. So relationship building and networking strategies for small businesses, and then the latest marketing trends in technology, which is, I have to update this because now it's going to be 2025. I should get Catherine to call me and remind me to update it, because I will get off here and I will not remember to update it. But AI, of course, is one of the big ones. So we talked about brand. We're going to talk about brand recognition, sales, and getting a competitive edge. You know, I'm not going to spend too much time on this because I've been peppering it out throughout, you know, the entire presentation. But, and I ask in the beginning what marketing is to you, and then I ask you guys if you've done a SWOT analysis, or if you know what marketing is, or if you have a marketing plan, because it lets me know, you know, where you guys are in terms of your marketing process and your business process. Because I don't know if you've started a business, haven't started a business, if you're thinking about it. I'm not sure how much, whatever. I don't know everybody individually like that yet. So I know you guys probably don't know your top 3 competitors, but I want you to know that leave here thinking about who are your top 3 competitors. And if you were a customer, you know, looking for the service or product that you sell, you know, and you type it into the computer trying to find it, would you even come up? And who does come up? And who has good social media? Who has the hashtags? And really sort of research and investigate and thoroughly look at your top 3 competitors, because your consumers are just like you are when you're shopping. And that's why the customer journey is such an important aspect of getting good marketing. And this doesn't have to be expensive. This is all free. You just have to know how to do it. And you have to know the steps that you have to do it in. And now again, with AI, you can just say, hey, you know, who are my top 3 competitors? Or you do the research yourself and then put that information into ChatGPT or Claude or Perplexity or whatever, and say, okay, so, you know, we talked about a SWOT. We used to do that by hand, by research, hours and hours of research. But now you can just go on and say, hey, these are my top 3 competitors. What are their strengths, weaknesses, and opportunities and threats? And how can I shine in the marketplace? And what's my competitive advantage? And do you have any advice for me? This would be a prompt. Do you have any advice for me on how I can, you know, carve out an edge for myself in the market? You can ask ChatGPT and Claude and AI to answer all of these questions for you now. But anyway, you should know who are your top 3 competitors, and then, you know, do the SWOT analysis, and then ask yourself, what can you compete on? Can you compete on price, quality, or service? Because it's usually one of those. Again, when I say know your business and to your business be true, and people tend to like ramble, it's just get to it. What is your business about? You also have to know, you know, what are you competing on? So you have to pick, are you competing on price, quality, or service? And even though it might be hard to fit your magnificent business into that little bucket, you really have to do that, because at the end of the day, it's going to fall into one of those and you have to pick yours. And when I was in sales, that would be one of the objections we were taught to say was, if someone comes to you and says, you know, well, Mr. So-and-so, you sell life insurance, or Miss So-and-so, you sell life insurance. You know, why should I pay you $85 and the guy down the street's only going to charge me $62? And we were taught to say, listen, Mr. and Mrs. So-and-so, everybody can only compete on one of 3 things: price, quality, or service. So if they're offering you a lower price, where are they cutting their costs? On their quality and on their service. And then I ask you, what is more important to you in the long run? Saving a few dollars, or having a lifetime of great quality and service where we're there at your beck and call when you need that? Wouldn't you think that that would be worth a few extra dollars in investment? Let's be honest, you probably spend that on pizza anyway. Boom, close the sale, right? And so for you yourself, you have to know, do you compete on price, quality, or service? And for me, I'm saying that because for me, for Maptim, it was hard. I'm like, well, I definitely don't compete on price because I have a higher price point because I think I know I bring a lot of value to the table. And so, well, is it quality or service? And I struggled with it because I didn't want to relinquish either one of them. But then I realized, you know what? Maybe I don't always give the best service. Maybe I don't always answer the text message or the email right away. Maybe whatever. But what I absolutely do not compromise on is the quality. Like when you work with me, you're getting top-notch corporate results, no questions asked, because it's my name behind it. So whatever I do for corporations is what I do for my clients. Again, that's a competitive edge and that's a differentiator because not all of my competitors can say that. I can only say that so boldly because I've done the research. I've done the core research. I've done the exercise. I've laid the foundation and structured the framework with the fundamentals before doing all the other marketing stuff. People today are like, oh, like I said, I'm opening up a TikTok store. Now I'm in business, right? Oh, if I do a reel or if I shake my bum or if I put these little banners, like that is not what major corporations are doing, right? So it just depends on who your ideal target market is. And again, that's why you go back to the 10 commandments. Know your competitors' ways, but like pick one or two channels and don't have to be everywhere at once. Like just, be on LinkedIn if you're supposed to be on LinkedIn. Write white papers if that's what you're supposed to do. Don't waste your time on TikTok thinking that that's where you're going to go viral. Okay? Unless that's what you're supposed to do. So you got to know what your competitive advantage is. And I really think I've given you a lot of examples in practicality on how that works. I did not want this to just be a theoretical kind of exercise. Anyway, and then you got to answer the questions like, why should people do business with you? And again, I'm just giving you the metaphor, which is actually a marketing psychological tactic. I'm giving you a metaphor so that you have something to grab onto. So it will seep into your conscious and you will remember this at the time and point in your life when you need to, which is when I say, why should people do business with you? I want you to pretend that you're a person who wants to get married. And it's like, why should this person marry you? There's Sarah, there's Jane, there's Jennifer, there's Ibuala, there's all these people. Why should you do business with me? I'm going to be loyal. I'm going to be caring. We have this in common. We're going the same places. I care about you, your goals, your business. You know what I mean? And it builds a partnership. So what would be better as an agency owner, it'd be so much better for me to have like a lifetime client, have like 1 or 2 lifetime clients that are with me for 5, 7, 10, 15, 16, 17, 20 years for as long as their business, because for as long as they are in business, because they trust me enough with it, rather than, have a business work with a client or a customer for 3 months and then another 6 months. And then, 1 year later, the contract's over and I got to go look for other clients. That's why I told you, don't just think money is the most important thing. You have to think about what is your real objective. And the only way to know that is to really know your business and to your business be true. That is the first commandment. It is the most fundamental commandment of them all. All right, now let's talk about a marketing budget. You got to decide what your marketing budget is going to be and where you're going to be marketing your business and what to do if you have no business. I know what it was. I think last time I did this presentation, I said I was going to include a slide about something called the SOLD system, SOLD, which stands for Strategic Organic Leads on Demand. And what it is a 12 step-by-step process that tells you the exact strategy you need and the sequence that you need to do these certain marketing. It's like it's like I'm telling you, know your business to be as a business, be true. And I'm like, blah, 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 blah. This whole system, Strategic Organic Leads on Demand, is a 12-step system that shows you the exact strategy and sequence that you're supposed to execute your marketing in order to develop synergy and create momentum so you can become profitable through learning for free. So you gather enough data that when you're ready, you can scale through paid ads. That's the sold system. The 12 strategies are, if you have no money, this is the order in which you should market your business. Because again, what I find, having, as you've seen, having this been my 40th one, having taught hundreds and maybe thousands of entrepreneurs, is that they all seem scattered and they all tell me the same thing, which is why in the beginning of my presentation, I asked, what do you think marketing is? And what doesn't work about marketing? And over time, I hear the same thing. I don't know what to post. I don't know who my audience is. I don't know how to stand out. So like, I know what those pain points are, right? That's part of why the 10 Commandments was created. And again, me trying to differentiate myself, if you could see how I tied the 10 Commandments, know thyself until thyself be true, know thy competitor's ways, and you'll always be blue, shine thy light on what makes you great, honor thy audience in every single way, be marketing, don't be dense, market only where it makes sense, blah, 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 all the way to paid ads. That's the last thing to do. Because again, I've seen people blow through their budget. As I said earlier in the presentation, they blow through their budget jumping into paid ads too quickly, right? Whereas if you do all the organic stuff first, and then go to paid ads, you'll have all the research, you'll know what works, you'll know what messaging works, what channel works, who your ideal audience is, and then you can strategically, smartly, and successfully put your money into paid ads, knowing that you're probably going to, make a profit, which again is the core of my mission, right? Instead of investing in Meta or whatever and blowing through your budget and just feeling like crap and then having to go back to work again, right? I don't want that for you. I told someone once, I think on a psychological level, I'm trying to save my dad, right? I'm just trying to, anyone who wants to break free through that bondage, that's what I want. So I want to show you how when I go on podcast or whatever, all by differentiating myself, all by doing the work in the beginning, doing the research, now I have the 10 Commandments, which I've taught you here today. And now I tie it into the SOL system, which I'm going to introduce you to now. SOLD, Strategic Organic Leads on Demand, the 12 simple step-by-step strategies you need to execute in order to scale your ads and become profitable. To scale your business and become profitable through paid ads. If you have no time, no money, no resources, no help, no nothing, just make videos, okay? You can make videos on your phone. If you don't want to be on your phone, you can learn AI. It's really quick and easy. Just do a prompt in ChatGPT. Say, make me a 30-second faceless video, and it will show all kinds of B-roll, or it will pick stuff for you, and just post it. Like, give me a 12-week Instagram posting schedule and put it in a table format so that I can cut and paste it into Excel. And then you go to some other AI and you're like, take this Excel sheet and populate it on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and you can just test and see if it works. And all that stuff is for free. Again, the SOL system, Strategic Organic Lead on Demand, SOLD, they're all free ways. So make videos first. You can get testimonial videos. That's why I was hinting to it earlier. You can make testimonial videos. You can make a day in the life videos. You can take product. You can take shots of your product. You can get someone to follow you around. You can turn a PDF into a video. Like, yeah, this is not a plug, but I do have a course that tells you how to do that. Anyway, but ChatGPT can do it for free probably too. So anyway, there are all sorts of videos. People are still sometimes not doing videos or being shy about videos. And as a person coming from corporate, I always have to do the research and come up with a marketing plan, present it to the executive team. I have to justify it, back it up, get money, decide what money is going in what channel and why. And if it loses money when I come to report, then I'm in trouble. And then you get the whole, once you know the marketing plan, you put all the assets together, they're in like some folder, and then you just deploy it like every week or every month. Like that's just kind of how it works. And so if you do video, so I tell people just do video. I'll be with you in 1 second with Jiha. Hope I'm saying it right. So yeah, I tell people with the SOL system, start with video. And then once you're having some success and some momentum with video, and a problem that I see is that people move on to tactics much too quickly, which again is why the 10 Commandments is there. So don't just do what everybody else is doing. Market smartly and only where it makes good sense. So once you're getting a little bit of traction with video, and I say that I do research, and research shows that video has better branding, it's more memorable, it makes you seem more professional, it differentiates you from your competitors. It has a higher recall, it is shared 1,200 times more than text and images combined. Not that you shouldn't use images, right? Video, put it on YouTube, it's the second largest search engine. It's just a strategic move. I didn't just start with videos when I created this program because I just wanted to, it was strategic. So once you've got your videos going, then I tell people to do local marketing. You can write a blog for free, just post it on your thing, ask ChatGPT or something for the keywords. So now you're working your way up to the front page of Google. That's all free. You can get a free Google business listing. Get those testimonials that I told you about, because the more testimonials you have, the more 4 and 5 star reviews you have, Google's going to show your business before your competitors. That's free. So you do video, and then you do local marketing, and then you do mobile marketing, which is free QR codes and SMS messages. And then the fourth one is social media, and then analytics, and then competitive research. Those are the 6 steps in the SOUL system if you have no money. Do video marketing, followed by local marketing, followed by mobile marketing, followed by social media marketing. And I only leave social media marketing fourth because it's complicated and it changes often. Whereas video, you can just start and it's pretty steadfast, right? And then we do analytics, competitive research, and then we say, then you can do your branding, because branding takes a long time. So some people make the mistake, like again, the way the SOUL system is designed is strategic, organic leads on demand. If I were to tell you do branding first, even though branding is free, it takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of research. It takes a lot of feedback. You're not making money when that's happening, and you're not getting any feedback when that's happening. And that's why the SOUL system says, start with video marketing first, then local marketing, then mobile marketing, social media marketing, analytics, competitive research. Then you can start getting fancy with your branding, because now you have feedback, so you'll know how to brand properly, right? Which is what we talked about at the beginning of this presentation. And then once you have your branding in place, you can start to design all this content in AI for free. You can get free videos, free Canva, right? So now you start creating all your content. You have them in folders, videos here, blog posts here, text messages here, testimonials here. You have all of your marketing assets. And then the next step in the SOUL system is to start marketing those assets, putting them on YouTube or on LinkedIn or on Instagram, or printing the flyers, or getting the bulletin, whatever it is. You've got the branding, then you create the content, and then you market the content, and then you syndicate it. You get people to be brand ambassadors or influencers and show up on podcasts because you've differentiated yourself, and now you have a story and a brand story and something to talk about, so you get more free organic attention. That's called content syndication. And then the 11th step is campaign planning. Now you can be strategic. You say, now I'm going to do a campaign on TikTok to single mothers. Now I'm going to do a campaign on Instagram about my hot sauce. Now you can start creating campaigns. So let's say you're like, from January to March, we're doing this campaign. From April to June, we're talking to this person from whatever, or we're doing this sale this month. We're doing this month. This month we're focusing on these 3 months we're focusing on increasing our digital presence. And then in this month, we're gonna, you know what I mean? And all this stuff, you can start to grow your business organically without investing a lot of money in paid ads. So that's what you do if you don't have any marketing budget. Okay, Wajiha, you had your hand up.
Yeah, partially you answered my question already, but when we follow the SOUL system without any big marketing budget, if we are selling to a consumer, that somehow makes sense, because consumers are in the consideration stage looking at social media platforms and blogs. But if you're selling to a business, do you think it still works to follow this pattern?
Well, what would be an alternative way? Like, why? I'm just curious to know where the question comes from, why you think it might not work for a business, like why?
My business idea is going to be a business to consumer initially. I have a plan for B2B, but that is 4 years down the road, maybe 3 years down the road. So
Okay.
I see value in this, but there are certain people over here who intend on selling, say, intellectual kind of products which are not tangible and for which the normal average human being is not the target market, but small, medium, or larger corporations are. And small, medium, and larger corporations do go on the internet to find out about solutions. But if you
They
do
do,
not
and
have
most
that,
executives and decision makers prefer to get their information from video than reading. Like that's statistically what they're saying. Yeah,
okay,
so video is
that
still
statistic is
there.
from research by,
Oh, I would have to look it up for you. It's in one of my presentations. Yeah.
okay, so that was my concern because having your relevance as well as having that mark of merit that yes, you are actually good at this, then people are going to approach you. So you believe that being on the social or electronic media, even if you're selling to corporations or a B2B model, is a better way to go with a smaller marketing budget.
Yeah, I would just say always start with video. It doesn't matter. Like that, the soul system is for everyone and extends to every industry. Just if you have it, start with video because that's what works. It also helps you to develop that connection and that sort of engagement that I told you about because, if you can have a video and depending on your personality, if you're talking on the video, it gives them insight into you. You can have I can, if you guys go to my YouTube channel and you really should subscribe to it, Mapdom. Look up MAPPDOM, there's a shameless plug. But if you go there, you'll see I have some clients that sell corporate training, professional development products to other B2B companies for like $5, $10, $15, $25,000. And they still want to go to your website and not read. They want to have a video,
Okay.
just something that looks professional. And again, AI can create all of that for you now. Even if you're doing a presentation, you can send them a video presentation and a regular PDF and a hard copy because you don't know exactly who you're talking to. And again, we talked about the messages, the medium, right? You
Yeah.
don't know how people learn. You don't know how people want to accept information. So you want to make sure that you have it available in as many different media forms as available so that they have something to choose. Just like when you're paying for something, you want to have multiple options to pay. So that's how you grow your business if you have no money. And then, Krishna, I'll get you in 1 second. That's what you do if you have no money. But other than that, there are ways to start on TikTok or Facebook with, $1 to $5 just to like get your foot in there. But again, if you don't do all this stuff and you don't set up the landing page properly and if you don't have the right message on the landing page that you're paying for a click and that doesn't convert. So, again, you have to be really strategic about every single aspect of this thing needs to work and be dialed in.
Yeah, and I get it. I mean, search engine marketing and search engine optimization is your front foot for me because that's how
Yeah,
people are going to be seeing me on Google or Yahoo or wherever my website
yeah,
pops. Then communicating
yeah,
in 2, 3 different formats is a good idea.
yeah, yeah. Because when people, like, no matter what conversation you have, no matter what website you send people to, they're most likely going to review you. They're going to Google you and they're going to look you up. And you want to make sure that you have good things already planted online so that you are presented and perceived in the way you want to be. Just like they say, you never get a second chance to make a first impression. The same thing is kind of true online. So for a marketing budget, I'm just going to give you high to low or low to high. So, they say you can, do $5 ads and you can sort of build from there. As long as you don't spend the money you make, you invest it right back into the ads. You can do as low as $25 a day. People say if you really want to start to play and, be serious, because you have to train the algorithms, like you have to have enough action on your platform that the algorithm knows who your ideal target market is so that they can show your ads to them online. But if you're only getting one click here and one click there once a day, because that's all you can afford in your budget, it's going to take forever for the algorithm to learn who to show your stuff to, right? So anyway, so you become a real player at $50 maybe, but that's for like one ad set. But then, like I said, you want to have at least 2 different things so you can compare. So you can have 2 different messages or, 2 different headlines, two different hooks, 2 different looks. You can compare one ad to another for one campaign. Remember, we talked about you can have different campaigns at different times of the year. So you might want to try one campaign. You might want to try 2 campaigns and then run those 2 ads and see how they compete with each other. And then you optimize and maximize the one that's working the best so that you're using your money efficiently. And then you just continue to scale from there. So you can start with as little. So my point is, you can start with as little as $5, $10 on TikTok. You'll be fine. Start playing, get your toe wet, expect to lose money. Okay. Expect to lose money. It's going to happen. But then once you start to, have a little bit of success, you're making a couple bucks here, 30 bucks, start to, 50 bucks, then you're $100. Now you're at $250. At $250, you're running 2 campaigns against each other. Each of those 2 campaigns has 2 different ads that are also competing with each other. And then you have an outlier that's completely different than everything else. And now you're able to test. Now you're really able to see what is the winner and run with that. So that's $250 a day multiplied by 30 days in a month. You're looking at $7,500 a month to market. If you want to start to be a serious player, you're looking at investing $7,500 a month, and that's just on one platform, right? And that could be one message to one target audience. Then maybe you want to have another campaign with another message to another target audience and see which audience responds better, or which platform is better. Is TikTok better than LinkedIn, or did we make more money when we sent out, packages to people and branded stuff, and we sent them something to their office, something tangible, we sent them a mug, that money that we spent on the pillows or, the stress balls, did we get a return on investment? Did we make a connection? Right? So up to date, I think we're good on time. Let me check them. Oh yeah, we're good. Okay. So up to date marketing trends and technology. This really hasn't changed at all, really. Conversational marketing, right? People want to see you. They want to be authentic. You have to break through the noise. Everyone sounds the same. If you sound the same, if people can't tell you're different than your competitor, then you don't exist. You're invisible. So you want to use your personal story and storytelling, right? Why did you start this business? Take us to your hometown. What is a day in the life of? What's the funniest client? What's the happiest moment in your entrepreneurial experience? What was the scariest thing? What's your best-selling item? Who's your best client? Like, just tell stories, personalize it. And oh, by the way, we're having a sale, because people don't want you to just sell to them, right? Video marketing, it's not going anywhere. It's just growing everywhere. And so you want to start with video marketing. Don't be confused. Don't be scattered. Don't feel like you're spinning your wheels. Start with video marketing. Do some research on ideas. It can be 15 seconds, 5 seconds, Definitely, I would start with YouTube Shorts. There's a whole bunch of reasons for that. Follow me on social media and you'll learn about it. But basically, I tell people, yeah, you should start with video marketing, but start with YouTube in mind, because it's the second largest search engine. So if you use buyer intent keywords in the titles of your videos, which you can't do on other social media platforms, when people are doing searches, you can rank. It's much higher to rank a video. It's much easier to rank a video to get on the first page of Google than it is your website. That will take 1 year, right? And then you can use the same video on all these other different platforms, but I say start with video in mind, right? Because like, oh, should I do content? Should I do my blog? Should I do SEO? Should I be, don't be confused or scattered. Just start with video marketing. Always create content, again, because people do not always want you to push your service or product in their face. Email marketing, I already told you the power of that. You have a captive audience, you own it. Doesn't matter if they shut down their account, they take a social media break, the platform shuts down your account, you have full control. And you have statistics and open rates and engagement and stuff like that on a one-to-one level that you can't get on social media. Social media will give you content, data, and analytics in like large clusters and aggregate amounts, whereas you can actually see which one person on your email list is always opening, always engaging, and then to develop your relationship with them. Personalize a message to them, reach out to them, call them, send them something in the mail. So again, you're being strategic and precise. So that's where the strategy comes in from all of this. And again, this is not the kind of stuff you're hearing on TikTok, right? On TikTok is like, follow me and I'll show you how to where to put your ring light. I mean, this is real marketing stuff. This is like hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of marketing stuff. So influencer marketing is good, get people to submit their own ideas. Hey, what hot sauce flavor would you like? If you were looking for a corporate, does your company hire corporate developers or consultants rather? What do you think is a good price point? Or tell us your funny story, or write a story so we can highlight you on our website. Oh, they would love that. And then they're like, oh, look, we got on so-and-so's website, or so-and-so featured us on their whatever, right? So you're collecting data to find out what works, to maximize and optimize what works, so you can be really efficient and you can grow like these big businesses do. Every big business was just a small business that grew with better marketing, management, and operations. And now you can do it too. So you can use AI. You can use AI to create chatbots for you now. You can use Messenger. So even when you're not around, even if you're sleeping, if someone messages you, you know, depending, I told you guys earlier about looking at your geographic location. So if you're selling worldwide and you're sleeping and someone, you know, in the opposite end of the world is buying and there's no customer service, you can set up messenger bots to answer common questions. You can, again, do surveys and just have those questions, feed it into AI, and they'll create the chatbot for you. I think you just put the code on your computer, but I'm not techie that way, so don't really listen to me with that part. But put desktop push notifications, I don't think that is as popular anymore. And then of course there's artificial intelligence. And so these are just some really quick. I've already kind of mentioned these. If you can only use 3, these are my first 3. These are my go-to. I've changed ChatGPT for Claude, because Claude can intake more information and give you code and stuff. But ChatGPT and Canva are great because you can put an idea in chat and have a Canva sort of plugin or extension and say, hey, create me a 30% off sale for Valentine's Day using this color. And then instead of just telling you what to do, okay, do this, do that, do this, Canva will produce 4 or 5 different, and you can tell it, give me 4 different designs to choose from. So again, there are free versions of all of these. They're limited, and sometimes you don't get access to like the highest quality images or backgrounds or levels of depth in terms of the graphic design. But it's a great start. Like again, the soul system and everything is just about doing these free organic things until you get good enough and successful enough that you start making money. And then you can really invest strategically in your business and grow and scale. So again, if you don't want to be the face of your business, you can actually create an avatar. You can go on here to DID and, you know, pick someone. This is a picture of me. You can upload a picture of you and have it talk for you. You can use your voice and it can replicate your voice, or you can pick a different voice, an English voice or an accent to, you know, your native place, and have it run that. It can be the background sort of audio behind like a video that just has sort of still images or B-roll. And when I mean B-roll, I just mean some film that shows like some moving part. That's what B-roll is. That's not the technical definition, but that's what it means. They have AI now where they have text to video. So you can say, make me a video of people rushing into my pizzeria saying it's the best pizza they've ever had. So you can just text that, and with some of these you can do it by voice, and it will create it for you. And AI is getting so good that it's looking really good. They're thinking they're going to be able to make cinematic films entirely with AI, which is great because it opens up a lot of opportunity for a lot of people to do a lot of things. So again, I said, you guys, you know, this is not about me. This is about Access bringing you this information, but you really, really are lucky to know this because this is just the way that the future is going. And when I told you, there are like the 1% of marketers that are on the forefront of what's happening, and they trickle down the information to the corporations, but they're kind of slow to adapt to change. And then, you know, by the time small business entrepreneurs catch on, it's too late. But you have an opportunity to grow your business and create great marketing with everything I've told you, with completely free tools, just using AI, right? It can remove a background. You can also say, not only create me a video, but make me an image, right? So the same kind of thing. Repurpose.io. You can basically put everything in a Google Drive, and Repurpose.io will put it in all of these different places. So again, you can do something once and have it syndicated. Like I think I told you, that was the 10th strategy in the soul system. You can have it syndicated in all of these different places. So you don't even have to be there. It spends no time. And they're pretty low price. You'll usually get a free trial, but you're not going to spend more than like $50 or $20 for Claude if you want the advanced version that gives you advanced answers and longer answers and kind of talks with you, right? But they're not expensive. You can, if you have, you know, time or money to create a fancy website, can't pay a tech guy, you can just go to Mixo and say, oh, sorry, this is in the wrong place, but you can go to Mixo, oh, totally wrong. You can go to Mixio and say, this is my website, this is my website idea, make me a website, and it will do that. Opus Clip is one of my favorite ones. You can take a long form video, you can take a clip from YouTube and you can feed it into Opus Clip, and it will take like a 40-minute clip and turn it into 8 5-minute clips, or 10 1-minute clips. So again, you don't have to do a lot of work. The technology will now do it for you. So that's Opus Clip. So yeah, and it will, if you tell it focus on the two of us or focus on one of us, and it will give oh, what's it called? It gives captions. You can pick the kind of captions you want. Again, when you've done your brand homework, because I hope I've taught you well, you feed that into it. So everything again looks on brand. It looks professional. You can, yeah, you can just play around with it. Like you can just really play around with it. And if you don't have time, you don't have to play around with it. It will literally just create it for you. So you have an advantage right now by having been here today on things you can use to help you grow your business. And then I think lastly, or maybe second lastly, is relationship building. Like I told you, it's about humans, it's about connections, about understanding. It's like, how's your wife? How are your children? Whatever happened with so-and-so. When you meet people and they feel like you care, I don't know if you guys have ever heard this saying. Again, this is why I love to record these things, because I always say things. I'm like, oh, I haven't thought about that in a long time. But the truth of the matter is that people don't care what you know until they know how much you care. Okay, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. You can go into a dealership and want to buy a car, and if you can just tell that this person is hungry for a commission, right, and they're not even acknowledging all you have to go through to maybe make this happen, or your kids being a distraction, or you maybe just got in a car accident, or maybe you're a new driver, like, show some care and concern about me, and then I'll have some care and concern about you, so much to the point where I become a customer and give you my hard-earned money. I could give it to anybody. So if I'm going to spend my dollars with you, you better damn well prove to me why the heck I ought to do that. Right? So you want to make sure that you have networking. You want to make sure that you build and have those relationships. Networking is the action or process of interacting with others to exchange information and develop personal and social contacts. It's important because it connects you with those who can connect you with others. And I actually have a personal story about this. Hopefully I have some time to share. It helps you get more prospects, and it helps you to make more contacts. It enables you to make more sales, provides you an opportunity to build relationships. It can help you with career advancement, or, maybe you just got to get a job. And like sometimes of the dips of entrepreneurship and business, you got to do what you got to do. And it also builds reputation, authority, and leadership profile. So this is really great. I actually have a really good personal story, and I want you guys to see, even though I'm delivering a presentation and I tell you that like I come off really silly, this is all strategic, and this is all strategic. This is the professional blue side of me, because I'm delivering a presentation to you that's supposed to seem so off the cuff and whimsical, but it's really strategic. My intonation, my being really quiet at times. I know I got to engage you. I have to have movement. I do it because I'm a professional. Like I said, that's the blue part of my business. But I want you to notice that throughout the entire presentation, I've been incorporating stories. I've been incorporating personal stories, and it's not necessarily deliberate because it's a part of my personality, but it also works. But it's supposed to seem like it's not a part of it, but it is a part of it, because the stories capture your attention since back in the cave people days, right? When there was no writing or light or anything, people sat around campfires and talked stories about how we came to be and how the sun rises. And the first thing you teach your children is stories. So we are tied into stories from a psychological perspective, and that helps people connect with you. And if you can do that on video and sort of tell your story about your business through whatever marketing channel you choose to be, you don't have to be the face of your business. You can just have pictures of buildings or food, or show a bunch of pictures of consultants consulting people, and there's your video, right, with your logo on the bottom. Boom, you're done. It doesn't have to be complicated, and video can all be free. But I'm saying you want to be able to connect with those. Oh, I know what I'm saying. So I read all of the reasons why relationship building and networking strategies is important, and then I get to share another story with you. So I just told you I came back from the Ritz-Carlton. I went to an event called the Webinar Con, where the 1% of marketers go to talk about what's working now, like what's on the forefront, the secrets nobody else knows, no one else is talking about, predictions and trends that they see for the future. You're just like rubbing shoulders and hobnobbing with like the best of the best of the best. And the thing is that these people are hungry and they're always trying to maximize and be efficient with their lead generation and their email and their everything, because the money they make is not money that they're getting from a job or a corporation. It's money that they are getting as entrepreneurs and business owners selling services and products to the rest of the world. And so they are motivated to know everything. They pay for $25,000, $50,000 annual masterminds, right? To meet up a few times a year and to like discuss these high level things. On people that are employees, chief marketing officers, directors of marketing, they're not spending their weekends going to these events. When they're off work, they don't think about work, they don't care about work. They're doing probably just the basic minimum to like get results and get their money and get their bonuses. They're not invested in the same way. So the information trickles down from, these like marketing elite to the corporations to small business owners. So that's the event that I went to. The first time I went was in 2022. And I was like, oh, I have a program. Do you want to be my partner and sell it? And because they have like email lists of hundreds of thousands of dollars. We once made $25,000 in 5 days with one webinar. And so, because I don't have any email list. So how was I going to promote my business? So I'm like, hey, if you promote my product to your people, I'll give you 50%. So I went there kind of hungry, looking for partners, and I got some partners. We made some money. It was all good. But then they became friends, and then we networked online, and then we got to know each other's families just through like Facebook and pictures. And then people are in common. You go to events, you take pictures, you start to care, you start to see about the divorces, the deaths, the babies, the vulnerabilities, and you connect. And then the next time I go to an event, I'm like, oh, hi, I don't know if you know me. I'm like, yeah, I know you. I'm like, wow, the best of the best, the big wigs, the 1% of marketers in the world know me. Wow, I'm feeling kind of good. I guess I'm kind of doing something right in the world. Yay, pat on the back. I'm feeling good. And then I go to another event and another event. And at this last event I went, it was not at all about business. It was about, oh my God, you've lost so much weight. What are you doing? You're helping so-and-so. So how's with your mom? And you really get those genuine connections. Like people don't care what you know until you know they care. And there are some places and traditions in the world you guys talked about from being in other places of the world and coming here and not necessarily knowing how the marketing works. Some people like, they don't want to talk business at all. They want to sit, they want to eat, they want to break bread, they want to get to know you. And after all that, he's like, yeah, okay, I'll sign the deal. So making contacts and having those authentic connections really matter. And now I have all these people just like, oh yeah, I'll promote your thing. Oh yeah, you want to come on this marketing cruise, right? But when I first got there, like, ugh. And so you'll see on the next slide what not to do in these kind of situations. But it enables you to make more sales, provides you with career advancement. Someone said, hey, I think you'd be a great like cruise angel or some angel. I got to dress up like an angel and go on a marketer's cruise for free. Like, yeah, sure, I'm down. Right. It also builds your reputation and your authority. I'm going to get to you in 1 second. So you want to make sure that you have your pitch ready. Again, that's why the first commandment, know thy business and thy business be true. Don't talk people's ear off. What do you do? Get to the point of it, right? And then elaborate later. Have your marketing assets in have your marketing assets in order. Have your brochures, have your flyers, have samples, have surveys, have your website up, have a social media presence, have some good looking content on your social media so that you're not embarrassed when people go to look for you online and then you have to explain that away. Don't do that. Do all of these things first. Know yourself and do the soul system, do all those things and get your branding, get your content, market your content, and then get out there and then let people see that you already have 7 or 8 blogs and it doesn't look like you haven't blogged since 2018. It looks like you have a blog every week. It looks like you have pictures up. It looks like you're active. It looks like you're engaged. It looks like someone that they can trust and do business with, right? You can go to BNI, that's Business Networking International. They meet at restaurants or libraries, once a week on a Thursday at 7 a.m. It could be a florist, a dental, someone who's a landscaper, a marketer, a tech person. And they're all like, hey, I have a large network, you have a large network. So if someone in your network needs a florist, you only refer them to me. If someone in your network needs a lawyer, you only refer them to me. If someone needs tech services, you only refer them to me. And so they commit to giving each other a certain amount of referrals every year. Chamber of Commerce is a place where local businesses get together to talk about what's going on in business to make sure that the local business has a thriving economy. There are, of course, conferences, trade shows, trade publications, events. You can have online events on Eventbrite, local events at a restaurant. Say, hey, I'm having a display of all my jewelry at XYZ bookstore. Professional associations like if you're selling car parts or something like that, the Automobile Association, they might have events. There are professional networking groups in Toronto. There's one called Verity. It's $8,000 annual membership, but it's like it's a filter, right? So if people are paying $8,000 to get into that networking group, then the people there are players and they have money. And so that's what I was talking about earlier, knowing your audience and know where to play. You can go to corporate events where they have corporate sponsors or, they're talking about what's coming in the next year. You can make relationships. Maybe you want to sell to vendors. Again, here's a brochure and watch my video, right? And then there's digital networking. Reach out to people, say hi, DM people. Don't spam people, but say, hey, I read your post or I liked your blog. And again, guys, if you're not posting on social media, you're also not giving people the opportunity to connect to you, right? Because I'm telling you a strategy to reach out to people and say, hey, I liked your blog. I liked to post. That was a funny video, or, just send an emoji. It puts you on their radar. So obviously when you want to do something, promote something, they'll at least have a listening ear. And then lastly, sorry. Well, yeah, let me just finish this because we're almost done and then I'll take everybody's questions. We have time. Yeah, we have like 12 minutes. So we're really, really good. And then getting your annual toolkit again, just plan for 12 months. You can do a monthly campaign where in January you're doing something around fitness and whatever your business is, somehow tie it into fitness or New Year's resolution. So, hey, it's a new year. Is your business ready for this? Here are 7 tips or strategies for you to increase. I don't know what happened. Something's flying in my backyard. Yeah, 7 tips to check your business's intelligence, emotional levels or something like that. And so someone in HR someone in HR sees that and they read it and then you're top of mind. And then February, you're posting something about love, wouldn't you love to taste this, or wouldn't you love to have your product be shipped from here to there in no time at all? Just whatever. So you can have themes by month. You can have themes by quarter. So again, for these 3 months, we're focusing on for these 3 months, we're focusing on marketing this product. For these 3 months, we are going to have a sale. For these 3 months, we're focusing on just whatever, right? It could be seasonal, something around winter, spring, summer, fall. So that's an overarching way to come up with a plan. Again, with AI and technology all for free. You can just say, create me a 1-year marketing plan. Where should I post? How often should I post? And you can, feed it in technology that will allow you to do that. So with that, we are all done. Thank you so much. That was so much fun for me. Oh, I love it. Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing my screen now, and I hope I'm on screen. And I think Krishna, am I frozen? Krishna
You're okay.
and
You're okay.
Krishna and Rajiha, you guys had questions. So Krishna, you can go first. I put you on hold the longest. I'm so sorry. I just didn't want to break my train of thought and flow. And then I'll take Rajiha and anybody else who, remember I asked you guys earlier, and those things, guys, by the way, that's just a technique as well. It's called an open loop. Like I plant something in your head. I'm like, we'll talk about that later, because your brain is like, what's she going to say? Which keeps you hooked and engaged throughout the whole presentation. So again, it looks like it's just seamless delivery, but there's actually a lot of strategy behind what I do. But I did ask you earlier, for some feedback. I know some of you guys were quiet and shy, so even if you want to write it in the chat, and I'll put my email in the chat, but I would love feedback after Krishna and Vijita speak. I would like anybody to give me feedback, something they learned, something they take away, what they liked, what they didn't like, just so I can know for the future and continue to deliver good stuff to good people. So Krishna, you can go first.
Thank you so much. Nakim, so first of all, I would like to thank you for the complete session that you gave. It was really helpful for me because marketing is something wherein the one problem which I personally face is building that consistency. So there is a particular day when I am very much into the flow and I want to put out good stuff out. I mean, I have creative ideas and I want to put it. But then, okay, after that day, there is like literally 15 days or week that I go and I'm like, okay, I don't want to put anything. I'm bored. I don't want to record things like that. So, any suggestions that you can give wherein how to stay consistent and motivated